Fox Sports Saturday at the races. All eyes are on Oak Lawn Park with a double dose of loaded Kentucky Derby preps. Two-time Triple Crown winning trainer Bob Baffert is at it again, leading the way. Baffert's 2-year-old champion game winner, who makes his long-awaited return in his first start back since his Breeders' Cup Juvenile victory. Improbable, also unbeaten, will try to emerge from his star stablemate shadow and try to give Baffert a Rebel sweep. Shamrock Rose shocked everyone with a 25-1 upset in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. She takes on a stellar field of fillies and mares in a loaded Grade 2 Azeri. Among her foes, multiple Grade 1 winner Elate, who comes off the bench for her 5-year-old debut. Is she up to the task to take control of the division? Fox Sports Saturday at the races is brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. For the love of the race, visit americasbestracing.net today. Welcome to Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2, Hot Springs, Arkansas. It is the center of the horse racing universe. Today, days like these are what we live for in this sport. It is horse racing's glamour divisions. 3-year-olds on the road to the Kentucky Derby, trying to qualify to get into the starting gate for that first Saturday in May. And today, we have two undefeated superstars from the barn of two-time Triple Crown winning trainer Bob Baffert making their 3-year-old debuts. Greg Wolf alongside 2015 NHC Tour winner Jonathan Kinchin, 4-time Major League All-Star Paul LaDuca. One of those two Baffert stars, he's the main man right now. He's the top gun in the division. He makes his return, his 3-year-old debut game winner. First time we have seen him since his win in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see him. It's going to be fun to see Improbable. I'm glad we're going to see them both on the same day, less than an hour apart. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, what would Derby points be not allowed without Bob Baffert participating, right? And he's going to have two of his superstars. And game winner, you can argue, was the best winner, at least on dirt, on Breeders' Cup Day, Jonathan. He was wide most of the way against the bias. Who is behind him remains to be seen. We'll see what happens. But here's the difference. He's a 3-time Grade 1 winner with only 4 starts. So there's a lot of quality there.
We saw what Bob did with Justify last year with no 2-year-old form. And now he shows up with a horse that has a bunch of 2-year-old form. I think he's going to do something special today with one of these two horses, if not both of them.
Baffert, he said he breathed a sigh of relief after that win. He was telling everybody game winner was his best shot to win on Breeders' Cup Day. And he got the job done as we look at the Kentucky Derby points leaderboard. War of Will still on top of that leaderboard. He's going to try and sweep the trio of preps out at the fairgrounds in the Louisiana Derby next weekend. Game winner, though, you see with 30 points. Improbable, undefeated as well from the Baffert barn. He, too, making his 3-year-old debut.
I think the key here is, okay, War of Will, we all agree. He's a special type of horse. But when you go from War of Will down, what are we going to see today? Is that going to be the separator? Because have we seen it on the Fox Saturday at the Races shows yet? The horse that can challenge War of Will, maybe we'll see it today.
Well, until things change, remember the San Felipe got rescheduled. That's why we have so many horses from Southern California shipping out to the Rebel with split divisions. Bob Baffert would only had a chance to win one race. Now he's got a chance to win them both. His horses split up in different divisions of the Rebel. We check in now with Lafitte Pinkai live on site at Oak Lawn Park in Hot Springs, Arkansas.
Yeah, Greg, Rebel Stakes Day is always a huge day here at Oak Lawn Park. There were 37,000 here last year. They wagered more than $10 million. That's a record. By the way, one of the best trainers in the game, Tom Amos, my co-host this afternoon. But when you look at this year's Rebel, it's even bigger. There's 2 divisions, right, Tom? But 8 of these horses are California-based 3-year-olds competing in both divisions of the Rebel. 6 of them were supposed to race last weekend at Santa Anita and the now canceled San Felipe Stakes. Can you explain some of the challenges facing horse and trainer?
Well, Lafitte, it's all about continuity. Everything you're doing with your horse, you want it to try to be the same as if he was running out of his stall back home. His caretaker, his groom, is shipping with him. His exercise rider is probably coming as well. So the horse will feel and taken care of in the same exact way. They'll even send the feed that they feed out there in California. When you look at these trainers out in California that are shipping, Hollendorfer, Baffert, Mandela, DeZormo, they've all done it successfully. I don't think it's an issue today. If you like the horse on paper, I think they run their race today.
First division of the Rebel Stakes will go as race number 8, a field in 9, and the imposing menacing presence of Improbable. He'll break from the outside, 3 to 5 on the morning line. Improbable, undefeated, and rave reviews about how he's been training in Southern California at Santa Anita at Los Alamitos for his 3-year-old debut.
If you want to try to beat Improbable, maybe it's post position. He's got speed right inside of him with the 8 and the 7 horse. And when they go to that first turn, everyone's going to be looking to move over to save ground. Improbable could be a victim there. Think about it like a bunch of cars going into a turn, and everybody's trying to get over for the same exit. That could be a problem for Improbable. I'm going to watch that first turn when they leave the starting gate.
Young Drayden Van Dyke has the call, and Improbable just glides over the track. First of 2, trained by Bob Baffert. As for Baffert himself, look, it's almost like predicting the Patriots are going to be in the Super Bowl every year. Baffert's always going to be in the Derby mix. His numbers speak for themselves. He is the all-time leading Triple Crown trainer with 15 victories. And he has trained, of course, 2 Triple Crown winners in the last 4 years with American Pharoah and Justify. 5 total Kentucky Derby wins for Bob Baffert, 1 short of the all-time record. Segue. And it's not as if Baffert might sweep both divisions of the Rebel Stakes. He's expected to. He has the 2-year-old champ, as the guys mentioned. They gave you the skinny on game winner. Post 5, 4 to 5 in the morning line. Joel Rosario 2-ride. However, if he's rusty, if he's vulnerable, he stubs his toe, maybe Tom Ames, Omaha Beach, number 6, with Triple Crown winning jockey Mike Smith in the saddle, could be the right horse.
Omaha Beach, an improving 3-year-old, and that's to be taken note of. Horses aren't fully developed yet. Some are growing up faster than others. Some are getting better with age, just like kids growing up. So Omaha Beach is kind of the now horse, coming off a big win, going 1 turn at Santa Anita.
Omaha Beach, he's been favored in every start. 5 career races. That won't be the case today, going head-to-head with game winner as we check in with Nancy Holthus.
I'm joined here with Oaklawn President Louis Sella. Something new for the first time today, 2 divisions of the Grade 2 Rebel. What steps were taken to make today happen?
Well, we've never had experience in splitting $1 million race before. So we started with our local trainers. They stepped up. We have not only Hall of Fame trainers here, but soon-to-be Hall of Fame trainers. And then our racing office reached out to the country. It was very well received, and boy, we have horses from all over for a chance at a shot at the Kentucky Derby. We've never been so excited.
Well, congratulations on an amazing day, Louis, and Oaklawn always stepping up for bigger and better.
Thank you.
All right, Nancy, thank you. Let's take a look at our weather conditions from the tracks we'll be covering here on this Saturday edition of the show. Out at Oaklawn Park, sunny, 57 degrees for the split divisions of the Rebel Stakes on the road to the Kentucky Derby. Meanwhile, out in Ozone Park, New York at Aqueduct, we'll be bringing you races 8 and 9. We'll be checking in with Andy Serling in just a little bit. Mostly cloudy, 48 degrees there. And at Hallandale Beach, Florida, we have the Grade 2 inside information. 7 furlongs for fillies and mares 4 and up. Mostly cloudy and 80 degrees. Beautiful weather out in South Florida. Today's race schedule and track conditions brought to you by WinStar Farm, the farm that pays you back. Fast at Oaklawn, fast at Aqueduct for those 8th and 9th races. And we have a couple on the turf at Gulfstream and a main track race as well in that inside information, fast and firm at Gulfstream. Get signed up, started, play along with all the races we're showing you this afternoon and every day by going to Naira Bets. New members can earn a $200 bonus by entering the promo code LIVE and sign up. Bet $200. You'll get $200 in your account. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Time for best bets now on the show, and we head to New York and check in with Andy Serling.
Thanks a lot, Greg. Looking forward to the action today. I think our 8th race here at Aqueduct is actually a very fun race, some up-and-coming 3-year-olds. But like everybody, I'm thrilled with the excitement we have at Oaklawn Park today. I can't wait to see a late comeback in the Azeri, and she's going to have a terrific race in there. But the 2 divisions of the Rebel are the races that are getting the most attention. And Improbable, who's in the first, the 8th race at Oaklawn, the first division, he is a very unlikely loser. I don't want to bet a huge favorite to win, so I want to look to play an exacta. And I think the 2 long-range Toddy is a kind of horse that's perfect to fill out the exacta behind Improbable, likely winner. So I'm going to cold punch a 9-2 exacta. Long-range Toddy had a bit of a trip in his last race. I mean, the rider did a lot of things right, and he was just a little unlucky. Kind of got shuffled out in the inside while the main running was being done, and he just had too much ground to make up. I think he can get the right kind of trip today and can fill out the exacta behind the very likely winner, Improbable. 9-2 for me in the 8th at Oaklawn. The Rebel, as we head back to the studio in Paula Duca.
Well, you always got to love an ice-cold exacta from Andy Serling, so I love it. My best bet of the day, listen, I'm going to go away from Oaklawn Park and try to make you a little bit of money before you get to the split Rebel Stakes. And I like race number 8 here at Aqueduct coming up, Trip Ups, the 6th, son of Big Brown, who was giant last time when adding blinkers. And you look at this horse's first start for Scott Lake, ran very well. Then they brought the horse to New York because he was a New York bred. He had run in Pennsylvania. And then he ran in a maiden special weight race that was absolutely loaded, came back and absolutely blitzed a field with the blinkers on. I think he can come right back and win at a decent price. Let's see what Jonathan thinks is his best bet is today.
A lot of horse players try to steer away from chalk. I like to embrace it from time to time. Here in about 12 minutes, a late's going to take the track and run in the Azeri. I'm going to play a double, ice-cold double with a late, the 5 horse in this race, into Improbable, the 9 horse in the next and the first edition of the Rebel. I think those are the 2 most likely winners on the card, and why not just pop them on the same ticket together? Obviously, with a late, Bill Mott's bringing her back off of a 253-day break. That's not, or he brought off a 253-day break last year, 203 this time, not going a mile and a quarter, just a mile and a 16th. I think she'll be right where she needs to be. And Midnight Bisou is obviously taking a lot of money, should be some value in this play, and then we'll be singled to Improbable.
Yeah, late. She came back and won off the bench a mile and a quarter last time, so you would think mile and a 16th in the Azeri would not be a concern. Obviously, one of the best conditioners in the entire country and of all time, and Bill Mott for her return. And we look forward to that Grade 2 Azeri coming up. You can play along with all these races this afternoon without risking any of your own money with the Showdown. See how your handicapping stacks up against other fans. It's a free online game, and you're playing for real prizes as well. Head to NYRA.com/showdown to place your free picks. And if you win, NYRA bets points on the line and a grand prize to the 2019 Belmont Stakes with a ticket package. Visit NYRA.com/showdown to get involved. Coming up next on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Speak of the devil, there is a late. She has some unfinished business in the Distaff division. Will 2019 be her year to shine? Her return in the Grade 2 Azeri is coming up next.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one of a kind, high speed, high stakes action, and NYRA Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With NYRA Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the NYRA Bets app or visit NYRABets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NYRABets.com.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including multiple stakes winner Autumn Warrior, stakes performers Scrapper and Malocchio, and Sipacan Harbor, winner of the Grade 1 Spinaway Stakes at Saratoga. In the sales ring, his 2-year-olds have fetched prices up to $1.25 million and multiple yearlings up to $1 million. Classic winner, classic pedigree, Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Oaklawn Park, where our coverage is brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. For over 100 years, doing the usual, unusually well. Gorgeous afternoon in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So much excitement for this Rebel afternoon. 2 divisions of the Rebel Stakes, significant Kentucky Derby implications. But first things first, the Grade 2 Azeri coming up next. There's the field, and wouldn't you know it, one of the headliners for the first of the 3 graded stakes races is a Claiborne-owned and bred mare, Elate, who is a current favorite, was the second choice on the morning line. Field of 5 featuring 4 Grade 1 winners, with Elate the 6-5 favorite. Purse $350,000. Again, this is the final prep for the biggest race, Tom, for older fillies and mares at the end of the meet, the Grade 1 Apple Blossom.
Yeah, the final prep being the Azeri, and you mentioned 4 of the 5 are Grade 1 stakes winners in this race. You might not get another race until the Breeders' Cup Distaff at the end of the year, where you put 4 Grade 1 stakes winners in the same race. Great job by the racing office at Oaklawn to bring these fillies together.
We'll hear from Elate's trainer in just a moment, the Hall of Famer Bill Mott, as you look at Eskimo Kisses. But what about Elate in the sense that do we worry about rust, the fact that we haven't seen Elate race on the track in just under 7 months?
Well, the first rule of handicapping Lafitte, at least for me, is to decide how a race sets up. And here we have a small field of 5 horses, and there's a real lack of pace in there. The one controls the pace and Tappa, Tappa, Tappa. And then you've got your 2 millionaires in Midnight Bijou, the young lioness, stepping up to face the grand lady, Elate. And she has an advantage, and that is her tactical speed. I go back to her race at Belmont Park in the Mother Goose to know that she can show speed out of the gate. I think they try to take it to the pace setter, Tappa, 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 out of the gate. And I think she tries to control the pace up front.
And she's run well fresh, has Elate in the past. Riders up in the indoor saddling paddock for this Azeri Stakes. We go back to the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint. How about Shamrock Rose? Trying to go long this afternoon, but here she is. This was her moment, springing the upset at 25-1 in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint.
Huge, huge race, and you mentioned it. It was going 7/8 of a mile. That's a one-turn race. Shamrock Rose is best at 1 turns. It's hard to make a case for her going the distance of today and say she'll be at her best. I think she is overmatched at this distance.
Shamrock Rose at 5-1 currently. We'll see how they look in the post-parade in just a moment. The Grade 2 Azeri, compact field of 5 with Grade 1 talent, 4 Grade 1 winners in this Azeri. And, of course, you want to sign up now for the $200 sign-up bonus with Naira Bets. Time to get involved before the graded stakes activity gets underway here at Oaklawn. Moments away from this post-parade in front of a packed house. As we mentioned, more than 37,000 here last year for the Rebel Stakes. They're expecting more than 40,000 this afternoon. And why not? You have to understand, if the Kentucky Derby were tomorrow, the 2 horses taking center stage this afternoon, Game Winner, Improbable, would be the 2 favorites for the Derby.
The local fans here in Hot Springs and all of our Arkansas and Louisiana, they understand racing. They've come to watch a card today that really is second to none that we've had this year.
In honor of Azeri, the terrific race mare, we start the post-parade Tappa, 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 drawn inside Tampa Bay Invader. On paper, Tom, the one to catch.
She is the one to catch. She comes off a nice victory, an easy victory, but this is a step up in class for our gray mare that's going to try and show the way out the gate.
She's 7-1. Number 2 is Midnight Bijou. Morning line favorite, now the second choice, third in last fall's Breeders' Cup Distaff.
You've got the best pace rider, maybe the best rider, period, in the country. Mike Smith knows how to ride pace. He knows how to handicap. I think he takes it to that pace setter early and tries to take over down the backside.
Scratch number 3, Summers India. Number 4, Eskimo Kisses. Last summer's Grade 1 Alabama winner.
She is, and she did it with a total pace collapse. She doesn't get enough pace today to get up here.
Currently 5-1. How about Elate, the favorite, winner the summer before last in the Alabama?
So I'm just going to say, I don't think a mile and a 16th is her best race. Not so sure this isn't a prep for the Apple Blossom in 4 weeks.
Elate, Jose Ortiz to ride Shamrock Rose. Again, the shocker, 25-1 upset winner of the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Sprint.
Ran great that day, stretching out today to 2 turns. Those races have not been as good as her 1-turn races.
And that's the field. 5 of them in this Grade 2 Azeri. Elate, 6-5. Midnight Bijou, 6-5. We check in with Nancy, standing by live with Elate's Hall of Fame trainer, Bill Mott.
All right, guys, here with trainer Bill Mott, who sends out Elate in today's Azeri. Now, Bill, she was lightly raced last year, just making 2 starts. She comes off a bit of a layoff, which she has run well in the past. Looking at her in the post-parade, she looks very happy on the comeback.
She's been doing very well lately. Yeah, I think, we want to get her started. We'd like to see a good race out of her today, and we'd like to know whether or not we're going to come back for the Apple Blossom toward the end of the meet. But she has had a long layoff. She had some minor problems, and we gave her some time. But usually when we bring her over here, she brings her game face. So.
Well, she looks like she is sporting that game face today, so good luck with her today.
Thank you.
Guys?
Nancy, thank you. So a late 6-5 on the board. We talked about how Bill Mott has brought a late off the bench before to win off a layoff, and that was at 1.25 miles. The last time that we saw her, it was a little bit of deja vu at Saratoga. I'm sure Bill Mott happy to see that there's no more Abel Tasman he has to go against again.
Those were some unbelievable battles. Unfortunately, we won't see those anymore. Both of those fillies were unbelievable. I think a late. She's always kind of just been knocking on the door being the best female horse in the country, and I'm thinking that this year is going to be her time to come out and show that. I'm excited to see her race today. Like I said, in my best bet, I've singled her in this. I've singled her in the pick 4, the pick 5, and any other bet you can find. I've got her ice cold here, so I'm hoping that she's going to run really well.
Paul, Bill Mott called the non-call in that personal ensign. He said, I can't understand it. It's like the wild, wild west. Yeah. Mike Smith did it to Jose Ortiz twice at Saratoga over the course of 2 meetings between those 2 horses. What did you think of that race from her?
Well, he pinned him on the rail the first time, and then that time he floated him out. But Late showed, her class in the Delaware Handicap. And listen, Abel Tasman was a champion as well. And I'm in agreement with Jonathan. I just don't think Midnight Bisou's in the same class. And I'm surprised they're both 6-5. The only reason I think is because of the layoff.
Well, Mike Smith, when he used to ride Abel Tasman, he made some sneaky moves sometimes, putting her up closer to the front than she was used to racing. Tom Amos suggested we might see that with Midnight Bisou today.
According to the Daily Double Will Pays, Midnight Bisou's actually going to go off favored. So if you're interested in a late and you're wondering what price you're going to get when they pop from there, it's going to be better than the one I think you see on the board. Midnight Bisou overcame a slow pace in the Houston Ladies Classic. And that was against lesser horses. If she can overcome a slow pace here, she's going to have horses like a late and a Breeders' Cup filly and mare sprint winner and Shamrock Rose kind of breathing down her neck. I'm against her today. I think she's a quality racehorse. I'm excited to see her at some point try one turn. Her one-turn Mother Goose last year was probably her best race. And I'm looking forward to seeing her maybe try 7 furlongs. But let's see what she does here today. The public's obviously believing in her. I'm still going to stick with a late.
Well, Paul, she went head-to-head with the 3-year-old champion filly, Monomoy Girl, 4 times last year. And she actually got moved up via DQ in the Cotillion.
Yeah, and listen, was it warranted? I think it was. I thought they made the right call on this day. And, she's the kind of filly that somewhat doesn't get a ton of respect, and she always runs her best race. Now, like in the Houston Ladies Classic, she was 20 cents on the dollar that day, and she was supposed to get the job done, and she did. Is she tailing off? She's got the same quality as the late does, because if you look, she's been beaten by Eskimo Kisses in here, the 4. I don't know if a late is even, Eskimo Kiss is even in the same league as a late.
Midnight Bisou, even money. Currently, as we get set for the start of the Grade 2 Azeri, let's check in with Nancy Holthus.
Thanks, guys. I really do like the way that Midnight Bisou has warmed up. She is a perfect 5 for 5 at today's Azeri distance of 1 mile and 1/16. And Steve is kind of known for really getting these fillies advanced as they do get older. I think she has shown some maturity since that Houston Ladies Classic Grade 3 win. So I think she is going to improve even off that victory. Guys?
Yeah, Nancy, that's the thing with Midnight Bisou. Let's remember she's 5 for 5 at the 1 mile and 1/16 distance. This is her trip. The guys in studio referenced the Houston Ladies Classic. So did Nancy. She won, but it wasn't overly impressive. She really had to work to beat inferior company. Part of the problem that day was a lack of pace for a filly who does her best racing from off the pace. We're not going to see a lot of pace on this afternoon either. How do we know she doesn't get victimized by the slow early tempo?
Well, I think that, number one, we've seen her show speed in the past, so she's tactical. You can say whatever you like, but she's showed she's tactical in the past. And in today's race, Mike Smith knows he has to be tactical. His only advantage is to be more tactical than a late. So I think he tries to, out of the gate, to take advantage of that.
Mike Smith riding in all 4 stakes races here at Oaklawn this afternoon. Final thought on a late. Even money. Do we see the older late? Does she bring her A game this afternoon, Tom?
I'm sure she brings her A game today, but at 1 mile and 1/16, maybe it's not her best race.
It's post time. Vic Stauffer with the call of the Grade 2 Azeri live from Oaklawn Park.
They're at the post. And they're off. Good start. Tappa, 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 and Shamrock Rose will set a controlled pace. They are not flying early. Tappa, Tappa, Tappa to the front. Shamrock Rose away second, and to the inside, Midnight Bisou breaks third. Elate comes away running in fourth, and the early trailer is the stretch running Eskimo Kisses. Not much pace on to the backstretch as Tappa, 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 and Antonio Gallardo set the pace. A length and a quarter in front of Shamrock Rose in second. Midnight Bisou is placed at the rail third by Mike Smith and 2 lengths off the lead. Eskimo Kisses is moving up outside of Elate, and Elate has to go because Eskimo Kisses just turned up the pressure in the center of the racetrack. 4 lengths first to last up the backstretch in the 33rd running of the Azeri. Tappa, Tappa, Tappa continues to lead. Now it's only 3/4 of a length to Shamrock Rose, who's second. A similar margin to Elate. She's now third and 2 from the front. On the front end, Tappa, Tappa, Tappa's back in front by 1.5 lengths. Midnight Bisou is the first one to come under pressure. She's at the rail in fourth and 2.5 off the lead. Eskimo Kisses is the trailer, and they run to the top of the stretch. Here's Shamrock Rose to put ahead in front of Tappa, Tappa, Tappa. Elate is only 1.25 lengths from the lead. Midnight Bisou has 3 lengths to make up. Shamrock Rose rolls off the top of the turn and leads. Midnight Bisou trying to split horses. Elate to the outside. Shamrock Rose. A final furlong to get. Midnight Bisou drives through at the rail, and here she comes. Midnight Bisou, Elate into second. Midnight Bisou, yes! Midnight Bisou beat Elate in the 33rd Azeri. Shamrock Rose third. Tappa, 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 finish fourth.
That's a Hall of Fame ride for a Triple Crown winning jockey. Mike Smith from off the pace. Midnight Bisou takes down the Grade 2 Azeri, out-dueling Elate late.
Not the way I saw the race setting up Lafitte, but the ears tell the story. Around the far turn of the 3/8 pole, look at the ears on Midnight Bisou. They're going back and forth, waiting for a command from Mike Smith. He had a lot of horse. That's a signal of it.
Mike Smith up the rail. Shamrock Rose trying to stretch out her speed, proving that she can two-turn on dirt. Any excuses for Elate, who's going to be denied by about 1.5 lengths here?
She hasn't run in a while, and the race was at 1 mile and a 16th. Look for her to be tougher next time in the Apple Blossom. I see these top 3 coming back here.
About 1 length in the end, Midnight Bisou, and for all of her hard work this afternoon, all of them, we believe, gets to face the likes of the defending Breeders' Cup Distaff winner, Monomoy Girl, all set to make her 4-year-old debut in the Grade 1 Apple Blossom. But wow, what a performance here, Midnight Bisou. I thought rounding the far turn, I thought she was done.
The only thing that told me otherwise was her ears. Mike is talking to her through what her ears are telling him, and her ears are going back and forth. She's saying, I have a lot of horse, just tell me when to go. When he did, she took off.
Just smack me the next time I don't wager on Midnight Bisou at this 1 mile and a 16th distance.
There you go.
6 for 6?
She looks great coming back, too. That's a lot of horse.
Mike Smith could be the start of a big afternoon. Riding in the Essex, of course, riding in both divisions of the Rebel, in search of his next potential. Derby / Triple Crown winner, winning last year with Justify. They call him Big Money Mike. And another example of why with that ride on Midnight Bisou. 2-5-6-1. Midnight Bisou over Elate. Greg Wolf, what a performance here as we are off and running with our stakes coverage from Oaklawn.
Plenty left in the tank for Midnight Bisou. If you got scared off from that comeback race at Sam Houston, you shouldn't have been. She looks like getting stronger and stronger start by start in her 4-year-old season.
Absolutely, yeah. She proved me completely wrong. I didn't think she wanted to compete with a horse like Elate. Obviously, we talked about the layoff that Elate was coming off of and probably future goals for Elate. But Midnight Bisou did her thing. She looked really impressive. Sat in behind that slow pace, and like Tom said, her ears, she was flicking around. She was ready to rock.
They never look bad when they come back to the winner's circle, do they? Wow, she looks amazing. And I think Tom's analysis was great because if you see Elate towards the end of it, when Midnight Bisou won the race, she went after her again. She saw her when she went inside She wants a little bit more distance. Midnight Bisou just a little sharper today.
And let's remember, too, Midnight Bisou's first start back of this campaign this year was not her best. Elate, she could certainly move forward. Her second start off the bench. This was her comeback effort in 2019. We're going to take a break. Hall of Fame trainer Jerry Hollendorfer will be in both divisions of the Rebel. Galilean is evoking memories of California Chrome. Will the Rebel be his coming out party? And Gunmetal Gray will try and turn the tables on game winner. Will the third time be the charm? We'll be back.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Carpe Diem was a serious racehorse with the physical to match. A debut main special weight winner at Saratoga, he beat the greatest stakes winner Ready for Rye, and he was named a TDN Rising Star that day.
Sean, he was brilliant. At 2, I loved his race in the Breeders' Futurity. I also loved his race in the Bluegrass. When I saw him in the paddock, he looked absolutely stunning. This horse has it all. Looks, brilliance, class. I can't wait to 2-year-olds to hit the racetrack.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races. Great to have you with us. Our show brought to you in part by champion sprinter Run Happy. Never lost during the course of his career while sprinting. A perfect 7 for 7, a 3-time Grade 1 winning millionaire. Now standing at Claiborne Farm. Back in the Grade 2 Azeri at Oaklawn Park, Midnight Bisou. She was a finalist for champion 3-year-old filly. Maybe this is the year that she collects an Eclipse Award.
Sometimes you read the racing form and you look at a best bet, and how are these two horses not going to run 1-2? Well, you got $7.20 for that exact. That's an amazing exacta. Congratulations to the Bloom Racing Stable. Jeff Bloom, such a great guy. A filly here by Midnight Luna, the Repent Mare, Diva Delight. Now $2 million in the bank.
It's a minute to post in race 8 and Aqueduct, an allowance optional claiming field for New York breds at 6.5 furlongs. A lot of speed signed up in this 8-horse field. Let's check in with Andy Serling.
I actually agree with Greg Wolf for once. I think that there is plenty of speed signed on here. The 1, Almendro, the 6, Trip Ups, and the 7, Hushin, all have speed. And of those 3, I think Hushin is the best one, and he's a live long shot. Rally Cap, the 8 on the outside, he is the horse to beat, and actually is looking for back-to-back wins for his trainer and the connections. They won with Trance in the 7th race. But I like the 3 Show Prince in this race. Show Prince has improved dramatically in his recent races. If you look at his maiden win 2 back, the Beyer figure came back low, but subsequent to that race, you can see that Hushin, who is 3rd, has improved in his subsequent races. The 2nd-place finisher has won 2 straight in very, very good fashion. And Show Prince ran an exceptional race. He challenged a horse named Blind Willie McTell last time, who's a very good New York bred. And he ran well, chasing wide in a track that was kind to inside runners. So I think that Show Prince can upset the favorite in this race, Rally Cap. For me, it's the 3, the 8, and the 7 as we head upstairs to the voice of the Big A, none other than John Imbriel. Obviously, there's some action behind the gate delaying the start. I believe that was the number 4, the Big Lebanese. We see him standing behind the gate. Dylan Davis is off of him right now. Only the Big Lebanese and the 8-horse Rally Cap have not been loaded. They're checking on the saddle. I don't know if they're just tightening his saddle or if they're taking it off and he's going to be scratched. I guess we'll see in just a moment. Looks to me like they're tightening it as Dylan's standing. No, they're taking the saddle off the 4, the Big Lebanese, so he'll be scratched. He won't be running. We may have a momentary delay. They often, when you have a scratch, they'll take the horses out and they'll move them in. So they go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it'll take a minute. So obviously, we always want to take that precaution. You don't want a horse where there's been any kind of instant behind the gate to run. It's not fair to the horse, most importantly, but it's not fair to anybody involved. So the number 4, the Big Lebanese, will be scratched from this race. I guess there will be a slight delay. I'm not sure if they're going to load them right away. They might. They might load the 8. We'll see if they take the others out of the gate. Not really sure exactly what's going on right now. Seeing what's going on. How much that'll affect the running of the race, we'll see if they're taking them out. They have taken the 1 out. It looks to us like they are, in fact, backing the horses out of the gate for this race. So I guess there will be a slight delay into the running, and that's the way it goes in horse racing. You hope for all the best, but sometimes they're animals and things interfere and you have some changes. So there'll be a slight delay into the running of the race, probably a couple of minutes until we run race number 8 at Aqueduct. Let's head down to Oaklawn Park and hear from Lafitte.
All right, Andy, here with the winning owner of Midnight Bijou in the Azeri, Jeff Bloom, daughter Hannah. Congratulations, guys. Let's start with the level of pride. How proud are you of what you saw from Midnight Bijou today?
This is a special filly. You know, she did so much last year, and we gave her just a little bit of a breather. But, you know, Steve and his entire crew, to have her in peak form the way she is right now and to see her perform the way she did in a race that really didn't have a lot of pace, I'm extremely proud.
Your thoughts on Mike Smith's ride?
Mike's Mike. You know, it's like I always tell people, when you have Mike Smith on the back of your horse, you don't have to worry about anything. Regardless of the pace scenario or the way the race is shaping up, Mike, you know, he's always a couple of jumps ahead, and he knows his filly so well, and that's the thing that gives you an extra vote of confidence. He just knows so much about her.
We saw her in some of the biggest stages as a 3-year-old filly, now 2 starts as a 4-year-old filly. What are some of the biggest differences you've noticed?
You know, she's actually grown up a little bit. She's I mean, I don't know if it's the right word, but maybe a little bit stronger. Okay. Mentally, she's always been advanced in terms of her mental maturity and her composure. But I think she's just a little bit stronger, and maybe even herself has a little more confidence. You just see it around her a little bit more.
She's gonna need it for what's next. You ready for Monomoy Girl and the Grade 1 Apple Blossom?
Bring it on, baby. We're ready. Let's do it.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
Guys?
Lafitte, thanks. That would be a 5th meeting between those two. Yeah. We can't wait to see it. Jeff Bloom, by the way, has a chance to sweep the Azeri and the Essex. He will send out Snapper Sinclair coming up next, or I should say in race 9 in the Essex at Oaklawn later today.
Yeah, only Jonathan and I can stop him because we both like Snappy Sinclair in that race. But yeah, Hannah and Jeff. Hannah has a big part in the stable. She likes to pick out the horses too as well. They do a great job, them and Madiket, and congratulations. And Midnight Bijou, is she getting better? She could be.
April 14th, that Apple Blossom Showdown. Late scratch of the 4, the Big Lebanese here at Aqueduct. Reloading. Let's send it back to John Imbrial, the 8th from Aqueduct.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Hushin is sent out for the early lead. On the outside is a Rally Cap, who's racing in second. Unseating the rider at the start was number 5, Saratoga Promise. So we do have a loose horse there. Saratoga Promise unseated the rider shortly after the start. Hushin has the lead here with Rally Cap on the outside in second, and Almendro down at the rail. Moving up is Funny Guy, a hard-to-handle Show Prince there, and then it's Trip Ups. Quarter in 23-1, Hushin and Rally Cap. And they are 1-2 going around the far turn. Hushin by a head. Rally Cap on the outside in second. A little more than a length to Trip Ups in third. Funny Guy is down at the rail running in fourth. Then Show Prince, and farther back it's Almendro, the half, 46 4/5 seconds. Hushin, Rally Cap. They arrive at the top of the stretch together. Funny Guy is down towards the rail in third. Then it's Show Prince and Trip Ups. They're moving for the 8th pole. Hushin and Rally Cap, they continue to battle it out with Funny Guy gaining down at the rail. Moving for the 16th pole. Hushin with the lead. Funny Guy and Rally Cap giving chase. Hushin has won it. Funny Guy got second over Rally Cap, and Trip Ups finished fourth.
Hushin hangs on for the victory for trainer Bruce Brown. Mike Luzzy aboard for the win. 2 wins now in the last 3 starts for the son of the lumber guy.
Last 3 races have come off an off track. I didn't trust him in this situation. He was cutting back from the 1-turn mile to the 7 furlongs, had a ton of speed going 5.5 furlongs earlier in the year. This is exactly what he needed right here, was just to get on the lead and go. Manny Franco deserves a lot of credit on the 8 Rally Cap, putting him in the best position possible. Just wasn't good enough to get past Hushin.
You can see Junior Alvarado, the blinkers off on the 2 Funny Guy. When he angled to the rail, it looked like he was going to make a tiny bit of a run, but the left-hand urging, Mike Luzzy, he put away the 8 on the outside, and then he sensed the 2 to the inside. He pointed his horse right to the inside to just make it a tiny bit tighter for Junior. But no doubt about the winner. You're going to get 6-1 over 6-1. A Funny Guy gets the job done.
Nice price, of course. Mike Hushin, this is a popular victory. Long-time trainer of over 40 years on the Naira circuit. Retired back in 2017. This one, no doubt, named in his honor. And this horse has now won 2 of his last 3 starts. We're going to send it back to Oaklawn Park. It was Midnight Bisou in the Grade 2 Azeri. Let's check in with Nancy.
Here with winning jockey Mike Smith, who piloted Midnight Bisou to victory in today's Grade 2 Azeri. Now, Mike, she was finalist for 3-year-old filly, and she looks like she has definitely matured with greatness. You had a very patient ride across some decent fractions, and tell me how she felt, because I know it had to be a pretty trip.
First of all, just an honor to win this race named after Azeri, which I was so blessed to have ridden and won 3 apple blossoms with her. And then this mare, not only is she extremely talented, but Steve Asmussen, Scott Blassie, and the whole crew, I mean, they had her just dead on. She was so good today. Halfway down the backside, she took a big breather. At that point, Nancy, I thought, but she's double loaded. It's just a matter of, planning out a trip from there, getting a place for her to let her run. A seam opened up just before the 8th pole, and when it did, I basically just dropped her head for a second, and she was gone.
Well, she beat a very accomplished group of mares, and I know that the Apple Blossom is the objective next month, so we hope to see you back here at Oaklawn Park, and good luck the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Midnight Bisou, very impressive yet again, and still undefeated at the Azeri distance of 1 1/16.
Love that Mike Smith gave a little nod there to the super filly mare the race was named after, of course, the 2002 Horse of the Year, Azeri, that he had the privilege to ride. She was one of the great ones. So we take a look at the Naira Bets cross-country pick 5 follow-along. It started right before we came on air. Race 7 at Aqueduct. Trance was your winner, and now we see Midnight Bisou. Formful so far.
Formful's fine. Formful's fine. It'll probably be formful the next race if Improbable gets the job done in the first running of the Rebel. And that's okay. Sometimes you got to push those tickets. Keep hitting the repeat button. That's what it's there for.
I think you always forget about Mike Smith's relationship with women horses. He rode Azeri, like he mentioned. Yeah. He also rode Inside Information. He also rode Zenyatta, Midnight Bisou. Oh, by the way, he rode Abel Tasman last year. So he gets along with female horses.
Yes, he does. Well, Rebel Yell, is that Bob Baffert's favorite song? It might be his theme song. He's got the odds-on favorite in each of the 2 split divisions. Improbable, undefeated. This will be his 3-year-old return to the races. We last saw him in the Los Al Futurity, winning by 5 lengths, beating his stablemate, Mucho Gusto. This is the comeback effort. Very short price for the son of City Zip. Drayden Van Dyke will be aboard, a perfect 3 for 3. Meanwhile, Teresa Z coming off a career best effort at Aqueduct. Will she pick up where she left off?
He's bred to lead. His name is Commissioner.
Elliot, I can't wait to see the Commissioner foals run this year. He was always one of the best foals we had. He was always one of the best yearlings we had. He was a maiden special weight winner at 2 at Saratoga. He went on to be a multiple graded stakes winner, and he's the last classic place son of AP Indy.
Let me tell you, they looked the part at the sale. He's by AP Indy. He's got a bottom side to boot. He's got every chance. I'm really excited about this crop.
I've been really pleasantly surprised. I saw quite a few unhappies on the farm, and it looks like the horse is throwing leg and presence and doing everything you want to see a first-year sire doing. This one has a lot of bone. He has a great hip angle. He's got a lovely hind leg, and best of all, in motion, he's just an absolute weapon.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by America's Best Racing, the go-to site covering the sport and lifestyle. Visit americasbestracing.net today and use the hashtag ABR at the races and share your experience at the track with all of us here on Fox Sports 2, and maybe you'll be part of our show. We have a graded stakes race, Fillies and Mares, coming up at Gulfstream. Race 11 at 7 furlongs, the Grade 2 Inside Information. And Teresa Z, morning line favorite, 5-1 right now. Coming off a 6-length graded stakes score back in November. As we take a look at our post parade, we'll kick things off with Hala Hala for Fausto Gutierrez.
And this horse is a Mexican superstar, bred over there in Mexico for St. George Stable. Has come over here and done some good things. Now goes to the Antonio Sano barn and is getting played here at 7-2.
2 tries and 2 wins at Gulfstream, beat males in horses who are bred in the Caribbean areas. America's Tail, Paco Lopez rider change on for Bernie Flint.
She feels like a need the lead type. I'm not sure she's going to get the lead here, but she is 3 for 3 in the money at this distance.
John Kimmel sends out Pacific Gale with Chris Landeros.
Yeah, she's been behind Dream Pauline, obviously a nice horse, but she's going to have to step it up today.
Kay Wren making her 5-year-old debut for trainer Graham Motion.
5-year-old debut off a 160-day layoff. This will be her first race at Gulfstream Park.
Pink Sands, last 2 starts, 2 wins at Gulfstream. She's undefeated here.
Yeah, this is the filly. When you look at her lifetime, she keeps getting better and better and better, and the daughters of Tappet usually do. I think she's going to even make a more improvement today at 9-2.
Tekalita is a multiple graded stakes winner from Michael Matz.
She's a 3-time winner at this distance. 7 furlongs can be tricky. Her last trip was inside and kind of chasing the pace. I don't like those trips. I like her back here.
And more speed with Razorback Lady, the 7 here, Julian Leperoux aboard.
Yeah, you make a good point about more speed. She has won from off the pace on the turf, but she does have a lot of speed, so they might use that as their weapon.
And Teresa Z, she was actually second choice morning line. She's 5-1 right now for Anthony Margata.
And I think she's coming here off of a layoff, looking to try to get back and going. She was 7 furlongs last time in the spring to get her campaign going. Seems like they're probably doing the same thing here.
Former graded stakes winner, won multiple stakes in 2 of her last 4 outings. Grade 2 Inside Information is coming up. Let's check in for the first time today with Acacia Courtney.
Thanks, Greg. And we do have a big favorite right now in Tekalita, who clearly has an affinity for this track. But as I was looking at the horses both in the paddock and handicapping this race on paper, I thought it was actually a pretty wide open and competitive affair, which makes it fun. Clearly, I think Tekalita is the horse to beat, but I did take a bit of a price in here. And I heard you guys talking about the speed in the post parade, and that was a big reason I landed on Karen, who is coming off of a layoff for trainer Graham Motion. But she is a specialist, I think, at this distance. And And while maybe she doesn't have a lot of wins at the 7/8, she is good coming off the pace and has really just been facing top quality competition in the graded stakes company that she's been running against. And it's funny, she's a Florida bred by First Dude, so she's coming down to Gulfstream for the first time. But she is actually a horse that's been really successful up in Maryland, and I've gotten to see her quite a bit running at Laurel Park. So I like her quite a bit at this distance. Looking at her in the paddock, I thought maybe she might need a race. So that is my only concern with her not having run since September. But looking at Tekalita, I spoke to Luis Saez yesterday about the trip that she had last time out, and he said while he didn't ride her, he was serving a suspension at that time. He really thought that she did not care for being down inside. He likes the outside, more outside post that he has today, much better for her. And he also really liked the slight turn back in distance from the mile to the 7 furlongs, and that's really going to be, I think, a big key for her in here today. As far as Hala Hala does go, she's been one that's really proved herself time and time again. Another one with an affinity for this surface. However, looking at her once again, I really do think that she is a horse that needs to run a little bit longer than the 7 furlongs, and being down inside, having the rail is not to her advantage. Talking about the 7 furlongs, in my estimation, Teresa Z looks like a 2-turn horse. I agree with Jonathan. I think this is going to be a good stepping stone for her, but maybe she wants a little bit longer than what she's going to get today. But we'll head back to you guys, and it should be a fun running of the Grade 2 Inside Information.
Acacia, thank you. 9-5 favorite Tekalita. This could be the final start of her career, although Michael Matt says it's up to his wife, who's the owner. She could run in the Madison if she runs well. Pete Aiello with the call. Grade 2 Inside Information from Gulfstream.
And they're off in the Inside Information. Tekalita was away smoothly, but Razorback Lady is quickest to begin. Down inside, Pacific Gale is third. Back to fourth, America's Tail. Then comes Hada Hada. Karen is between horses. Teresa Z's on the outside. And Pink Sands is last of all behind the speed of Razorback Lady. Razorback Lady and Julien Leparoux lead the way 3 parts of length. Luis Saez has Tekalita on the flank of the leader while second. Down inside, Pacific Gale is a joint third with America's Tail between horses. 2.5 to Karen, who settled about 5 lengths off the lead, racing ahead of Teresa Z and Hala Hala, and still last is Pink Sands. 22-3 for a very reasonable opening quarter speed for these quality fillies and mares as they round the far turn. 3/8 to go with Razorback Lady in front by a neck. Tekalita up alongside now second. America's Tail is third. Pacific Gale at the inside fourth. Teresa Z winds it up while wide from between horses. It's Karen. Then back to the outside, Pink Sands, and Hala Hala is last with a 1/4 mile left to go. Still many chances here, but Razorback Lady has inside position and a narrow lead. On the outside, America's Tail let go by Paco, and coming after the leader, Tekalita has to find more with 1/8 mile to go. America's Tail for the front. Razorback Lady fighting hard for every yard down the center. Tekalita with another run. 16th to go. It's America's Tail with the win in the Inside Information. Close then for second, either Razorback Lady or Tekalita in 124 flat.
America's Tail. She has now won 4 of her last 5 starts. Rider change. Paco Lopez hops aboard for Bernie Flint and gets a career best win.
I guess she likes 7 furlongs more than she likes the lead. I thought she needed the lead, but clearly it was the 7 furlongs that moved her up. Very impressive. I thought in the backstretch it was over.
Yeah.
I thought Tekalita was going to win, and here we go with America's Tail.
You can see Paco right there. He looked between his legs. He made a key move on the backside. He moved her off the rail, and I think that was key. Like you said, you look at her PPs, she's never passed a horse here, Greg. Paco did an amazing job of getting her to settle, get her out in the clear to make her seem like, hey, I am in front. I got these 2 horses buried behind me, and she went on with it. She went away from these horses.
So America's Tail, last 4 times she's been on a dirt surface, she has been to the winner's circle. First division of the Rebel. Again, a great shout out to officials at Oaklawn for stepping up and making the split divisions, putting in an extra $500,000 of purse money to allow all these runners to race with the cancellation of the San Felipe and the first of 2 undefeated superstar colts from Bob Baffert's barn in action. Improbable, a 2-5 on the board. Let's send it out to Lafitte Pinkai and Tom Amis.
All right, Greg, well documented how dominant Bob Baffert has been in the Rebel, having won 6 of 7. Of course, his last 2 starters were denied, American Anthem and Salamini, in the last couple of years, so obviously he's lost his touch in this Rebel Stakes. A chance to back in a big way with Improbable, the favorite. We go through the post parade. You saw Long Range Toddy, troubled third in the Southwest. Number 3, Tom Carews, Stuart Elliott of Smarter Jones fame rides.
This is a very good one-turn turf sprinter, but we're not doing that today. Out of his element.
Proud Nation is a scratch. Easy Shot, former claimer from California.
Yeah, and an improving horse, and we talked about that. Can he grow up a little bit more today? He's got some ground to make up on the other California invaders.
Trained by Keith DeSormo, Proud Nation. Still scratch. Number 6, 9th Street, second of 6 Rebel runners today for Steve Asmussen.
Blinkers off on this horse, 9th Street, and that's usually a sign that the trainer is looking for some sort of improvement. He's searching.
Number 7, Classy John, anticipated pace setter.
He's fast, but he's not this distance.
How about Galilean, strong second choice, the Calbred.
This Calbred is a horse that can compete in open company, and I think is the main competition for the horse right outside of him. Improbable.
Improbable, at least for an hour. The most anticipated 3-year-old debut by a horse in North America this year.
Undefeated, 3 for 3. Has a chance to do that today at big odds of 1 to 5. Watch him going into the first turn. Can he save some ground?
1 to 5, Improbable, undefeated. Bob Baffert at home watching on his grade 1 couch. I text him to see what he was thinking 5 minutes to post. I can't repeat his response. Let's just say he's anxious, a little nervous before post time, understandably so.
I think everything in that house is grade 1. What do you think?
Absolutely. For a guy who's won 2 Triple Crowns in the last 4 years, what makes Improbable so special? What have you seen in his races and training in only 3 races that has the racing world abuzz, believing he could be the horse to beat in this year's Kentucky Derby?
This is the first time I've seen him up close, Lafitte. He warmed up right behind us, and he has got a gorgeous long stride. He is made for distance. He's very fluid. 3 for 3, you don't do that in your 2-year-old year unless you're something special, and he's faced some really good horses in doing so.
If there is a vulnerability, what would that be for Improbable?
The only thing I can think of is post position. He's all the way on the outside in post 9. There's a chance to lose ground. He's got speed right inside of him with the 7 and the 8. They're going to crowd up on that first turn. It's up to Drayden Van Dyke to ride a good race and save that ground in the first turn.
But it is a horse race, and this is why we run the races. And while Bob Baffert has won those 2 Triple Crowns, you have the presence of Hall of Famers, one of them being Jerry Hollendorfer with Nancy moments ago.
Here with trainer Jerry Hollendorfer, who sends out Galilean in the first division of the Rebel. Now, Jerry, he looked fantastic when he got off the plane in Little Rock, as he does ship for his first time. Also steps up into graded stakes company. How has he trained coming into this race, and how do you see the race setting up for him?
He trained real well, just as a small plan. We thought that the 7 Classy John would go, and I don't know what the inside horses, tactical horses will do. Bob always likes speed. I don't know if he's going what he's going to try to do from that outside post, but we're planning to be tactical.
Well, we wish you the best of luck here in this division of the Rebel, and welcome back to Hot Springs.
Thank you,
guys.
Nancy, thanks so much. Tom, we have a late scratch, number 3, a long shot. Carews is out. Does that change the complexion of the race whatsoever?
I don't think so. I think the best thing is that Carews will be safe for a better day, another race.
Carews out, late scratch. We'll have a couple minutes here. So you just heard from Jerry Hollendorfer. Galilean, look, he's won a couple of the stakes races as California Chrome, 2014 Kentucky Derby Preakness winner, right? But, let's pump the brakes on the comparisons, all right? Now's the time for Galilean to step up. How can he take down Improbable?
Well, he is stepping up, and he's also a 2-year-old turning 3, and there's a chance that he could be getting better and better. This is his opportunity to show that he can share the stage with a horse like Improbable. He's tactically probably a little quicker than Improbable, and maybe by trip he can get him beat.
So doesn't it make it easier for Improbable, while you were looking there at Galilean, the anticipated pace setter is Classy John, post 7. Galilean, quick, post 8. Doesn't Improbable and Drayden Van Dyke just kind of follow them over, let them run interference for him?
Assuming you don't have any problems towards the inside of those horses. I do agree. Most of the speed is to the outside, but let's not forget, Steve Asmussen has 2 in this race. 1 is a deep closer. I think Long Range Toddy, the 2 horse, is also going to be one that tries to show speed. to help his stablemate, 9th Street.
You mentioned long-range Toddy. He's been good in the preps here at Oaklawn. He was second in the Smarty Jones. He was third in the Southwest with trouble at the top of the stretch. Probably should have been second. Showed a lot of grit and toughness that afternoon.
I agree with everything you're saying, but this race goes through California, in my opinion.
As they move into line, you're watching the first division of the Rebel Stakes on Fox Sports 2. How good is Improbable? Will he live up to the hype at 2-5? Certainly in the right hands. The Hall of Famer Bob Baffert, 6-time Rebel Stakes winner. Improbable making his 3-year-old debut in the Rebels. So did American Pharaoh in 2015 en route to capturing the Triple Crown. Vic Stauffer with the call, the first division of the Rebel. All eyes on Improbable.
They're at the post. Now Improbable backs out. They're set. They're off. Galilean, a stride slow. Classy John, long-range Toddy, and now a quickly recovering Galilean. Extra Hope is at the rail. Improbable will be 4 wide at the first turn. Then Easy Shot, and the early trailer is 9th Street. To the backstretch they run with long-range Toddy narrowly in front, but Classy John is going to go claim the front, and here's Classy John to take it over. John Court lets him go on long-range Toddy, who will now sit second, but not for long, because here comes Galilean to claim second, and he's a length from the front. Extra Hope has moved off the rail, and that will land Improbable 4 wide, probably on the second turn as well. And here's an early move from Mike Smith and Extra Hope to go all the way up to challenge. And at the half-mile marker in the 59th Rebel, Extra Hope is heads apart for the lead with Galilean and Classy John. Improbable will be 4 wide on both turns. Long-range Toddy stays at the rail. Then Easy Shot in 9th Street. Many chances, 3 furlongs from the money. Extra Hope has now taken the lead. He's a half ahead in front of Classy John. Galilean is only a neck behind. Improbable is ready to roll if he's good enough, and here he comes. Improbable 3 wide. The 3 of them line up at the top of the stretch. Galilean nearest the rail. Improbable in the center. Extra Hope is between horses, and Improbable slingshots to the front. Improbable now a length and a half in front. Long range Toddy is running a very big one in the center of the track. Improbable, long range Toddy trying to gun him down. Improbable, here's long range Toddy. The 59th Rebel goes to John Court and long range Toddy. He beat Improbable, Galilean third, Extra Hope fourth.
No such thing as a sure thing in racing. What a stretch duel. Long range Toddy runs down Improbable, undefeated, no more.
Lafitte, we talked about Improbable and post position, if that could compromise him. It did. Very wide on both turns. The worst thing that happened to Improbable was the 8-horse, Galilean, not breaking well, rushing up out of the gate, causing him to be very wide in the first turn. He was wide in the second turn as well. Long range Toddy was sat behind that speed duel of those 3 horses and waited the longest of all. It was the right move. Great ride by John Court.
Was this more about Improbable underperforming or long-range Toddy really stepping up?
If you look down the backside, it looked to me like Improbable was being ridden by Drayden Van Dyke all the way from about the half-mile pole home. I don't think it was his day today.
What happened in the first turn, Tom?
So we got the 8-horse Galilean gets left and then rushes up inside of our favorite Improbable, causes him to be very wide into the first turn. He's the widest of all. And he's going to have to take that trip again going to the second turn. That's all based on post, the 9-hole, as opposed to having inside post position, and it cost him today.
That cost him the win, considering the margin of defeat.
Cost him the win. Watch Drayden Van Dyke's hands as we go down the backside and then into the stretch. He's being ridden a long way, and he had guts and determination, getting to the win get him to a winning spot right here, but he can't carry it all the way. He's just been ridden too far.
Win, lose, or draw, how do you think Bob Baffert feels right now watching in terms of Improbable's performance moving forward? Again, this was the battle, not the war.
Right, look, he feels like any trainer feels after getting beat as a heavy favorite. But, you know, for all of us, we sit back, we look at how the race unfold. This is exactly right. This is the first race back of his 3-year-old year. I'm watching him come back right in front of me. He looks good.
And how about long-range Toddy, though, for Steve Asmussen? Another win in the Rebel, believe his 4th, owned and bred by Willis Horton, who campaigned will take charge, the 3-year-old champion in 2013.
Big race by long-range Toddy. A big step up today. We talked about how 3-year-olds develop at this time of year, and we see some surprises. We saw...
So the first defeat for Improbable, let's remember, I mean, this was the first start back for him. Bob Baffert had said going into this race, he also has game winner later, making his 3-year-old return. He wanted to have these 2 horses, as he said, super cherry ready for the first Saturday in May, not for today.
He didn't run like a short horse. He was ready today. He had about 17 bad things happen to him. Long-range Toddy had about 0 bad things happen to him. Let's see what happens when they come back and race against each other. It just wasn't a great trip for Improbable, and it was a perfect trip for long-range Toddy.
So many times you look at Mike Smith let a horse go on the front end. You go look back at that race, the 2 was on the front end, and Mike took him all the way back, let everybody else do the dirty work. He saw Drayden Van Dyke, Johnny Court took him back. He saw Mike Smith make that move on Extra Hope, and then everything went into like chaos a little bit. I think Drayden panicked a little bit on Improbable, and Long Range Toddy was just sitting there. Johnny Court gave that horse a great ride.
He's been stabled here. He ran in the Smarty Jones, the Southwest, showing improvement race by race, and today he picks up 37.5 points likely in the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby with this win.
He's dangerous, Jonathan, because he's got tactical speed, this horse.
If you watch his last 6 races, there's an argument that this could have been his 6th win in a row.
What do you do with Galilean with the bad break? Pretty good race.
It was, and keep in mind, too, everyone compares him to California Chrome. Chrome only won 2 of the first 6 starts before he went on a win streak. Cross country, pick 5 follow along, Naira bets. We have our price now, $18 on Long Range Toddy. And again, usually with this, it just takes 1.
Not only did you have a price, but you beat everyone single.
Yeah.
So the $18 is even, it's like $25, a $25 winner because you beat everybody else a single.
If you beat both Bafferts, you're going to get paid. You beat one of them, you're going to get paid. It's just the bottom line. I don't care what the other horse is paid. People come to the racetrack, they look at Bob Baffert, and they single those horses. So when you beat them, you're going to get a little bit of Skrilla, and you might get some today.
Wide post, wide around both turns. First start back, shipping out to the Midwest. Had to overcome a lot here. That first start back, still in defeat. Impressive. But right now, it is about Long Range Toddy. Trainer Steve Asmussen, he had 6 horses going in the 2 split divisions of the Rebel. Long Range Toddy gets the job done for him. 9th Street checks in 4th, and he still has 4 more horses that will line up, all long shots in that 2nd division against Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Game Winner. Let's go to Andy Serling, race 9, coming up at Aqueduct.
Thanks, Greg. They're heading behind the gate for the race number 9. We did lose a few horses. We had some scratches this morning, and we lost a couple of major players in the 5 split verdict and the 6 D'Ambrosio. And it's really a question of whether or not the 6 takeoff is able to break cleanly. If the 4 takeoff. If the 4 takeoff, the appropriately named takeoff, takes off from the gate, he's the controlling speed in here. The trainer, Carlos Martin, took the blinkers off last time. It was the first time he ran for Carlos, and Carlos thought it was a mistake. He's putting the blinkers back on, and it's the right move. Takeoff is a horse that chased outside last time on a track that was very kind inside runners. The horse who won the race had a clean trip up the rail, and we saw him run well at 19-1 earlier in the card. The second finisher ran 2nd earlier in the day. And if Joey Martinez, his rider, can break cleanly and get him to the front, he's supposed to be very, very hard to beat. We'll look at that pick 5, actually. Is that the Naira Betsley pick 5? Or that's Naira Betsley pick 5, actually. And if you're somehow able to get the long shot in the first leg, the $73 She Makes Me Smile, you're alive, because it hasn't been that hard afterwards. I wasn't smart enough, but I'm alive in the pick 4 to use a little hushing. But you got a 7-2, 7-7. And the 2 major players here are the 2 favorites. None of them covered in the pick 6, by the way. We will have a carryover in the pick 6 tomorrow at Aqueduct. They're circling around the gate. Now, The chief competition to Takeoff, who I think should be favored in here, is Change of Venue. Change of Venue is a very odd horse. But he started his career looking like a good horse. Seemed like a good claim by trainer Linda Rice, who took him out of his debut for $40,000. He came back with a respectable third-place finish against a tough field, and then he was just dreadful in his next 3 starts. But Linda stayed with him, and he came back last time, and he finally ran an improved effort, finishing second. I don't trust him at all. I can't trust a favorite who's got 3 races in his last 4 that are as miserable as he does, but his last race was his best in a while. Still, I am not convinced he can run down the speed of Takeoff. The others that can win, the 1 Latin Love Bug and the 2 Infield is in. There's certainly players in here, but I think it's a question of whether or not Takeoff can break cleanly, control on the front end, and it may be all she wrote if he's able to do that. If not, the 3 Change of Venue is the likely one to catch him. We've still got a couple left to load. The last one's going to be Ships and Goods. John and Brielle with the call.
They're all in. And they're off. And they all came away to a good start. It's Takeoff who will come away with the lead here. And Takeoff gets away to lead by a length. Right behind the trio of Infield is in, Change of Venue, Long Shot, Panther Creek on the outside. Then Latin Love Bug, who's racing in 5th. Ships and Goods is the trailer. Now it's a 4-way battle up front. Takeoff. Now moving up is Change of Venue. On the outside is Panther Creek. Infield is in down at the rail. Latin Love Bug and Ships and Goods, the quarter 1 in 24 seconds. Takeoff challenged by Change of Venue. Takeoff by a neck. Change of Venue right there on the outside in second. Latin Love Bug is making a move now on the extreme outside. There goes Latin Love Bug up to challenge the front 2 for the lead. So it's Takeoff, Change of Venue, and Latin Love Bug. The 3 of them across. Infield is just in behind the front 3. Ships and Goods now moves into 5th. Panther Creek has dropped out of it as they come for the top of the stretch. The half in 48 and 2. Latin Love Bug has made the lead now. It's Latin Love Bug in front. Change of Venue runs in second. Infield is in 3rd. Latin Love Bug with the lead inside the furlong marker. Latin Love Bug by 3. Change of Venue and Infield is in. Latin Love Bug to take Aqueduct's finale. Won at the end by 4.5 lengths. Change of Venue was second. Then Infield is in and Takeoff.
Latin Love Bug, just 1 for 18 coming into this race. Picks up the victory for John Toscano Jr. Prices coming up momentarily. Meanwhile, back in the 1st division of the Grade 2 Rebel on the road to the Kentucky Derby, Long Range Toddy collects more points, and if he chooses to go, he's in the starting gate for the Kentucky Derby. Let's go to Nancy Holthus, standing by with a winning rider.
Thanks so much, Greg. Here with John Court getting a very impressive victory aboard Long Range Toddy for trainer Steve Asmussen and a proud, very happy owner in Willis Horton. John, it seemed like Long Range Toddy just stepped up every single time he was asked, got his first graded stakes today. I know that was a very, very happy trip for you. Kind of looked like a battle for the lead on the backside. Very impressive trip down the stretch. Talk us through it.
Well, actually, we had a good trip, and, it keeps your mind thinking all the way around there, but I don't want to put too much science into it. So I just rolled to how we discussed it with the connections of Long Range Toddy, and when we turned for home, I know Drayden looked like he was full of punch with the final finish, so I kept my eye on him and just targeted him to run him down on the stretch, and it worked out that well, so perfect.
Well, congratulations to you and the winning connections. Long Range Toddy was definitely impressive in the 1st division of the Rebel.
Trainer Steve Asmussen, Willis Horton, John Court winning connections with Long Range Toddy. Another division of the Rebel still to come, including Hall of Fame trainer Richard Mandela in Omaha Beach. He'll have a new pilot for the Rebel. Hall of Famer Mike Smith hops aboard as Omaha Beach looks to tackle the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Champion game winner coming up next from Oaklawn when we return.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. War Front, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Individuals like her, they're hard to find. When you find them, you have to do your best to try and get them. Really quality filly, beautifully made and moved really well, and we're very happy to get her. She was one of our key horses today to try and get. We thought she'd come in south of 200, but like everything else, when you're chasing the ones you really wanted, it's always costing a little bit more. So we have to stretch for her, but we're happy to have her.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at nairabets.com.
We're back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races, brought to you in part by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. First division of the Rebel in the books. It goes to Long Range Toddy for trainer Steve Asmussen. Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, game winner still to come. A race away out in Hot Springs, Arkansas. Right now we go to Gulfstream Park, and we're on the turf at a mile in an entry-level allowance field. Muda Katif, 3-5 from a 4-1 morning line for trainer Chad Brown, and this is a horse who has been working lights out in the morning, reportedly outworking Pegasus turf winner Bricks and Mortar recently.
Man, these workout reports really ruin those guys that hang out and do all the hard work in the morning. If you found out that this horse has been outworking Bricks and Mortar, you used to be able to go to the racetrack and make a lot of money. Now everybody knows about it, and obviously the price is 3-5. Look, these horses are going to run, and I'm looking forward to it.
Green Moster went by. Vegas Kitten did as well for Danny Gargan. Here's When the Doves Cry.
Yeah, When the Doves Cry for Paco Lopez, looking for a double with Mary Epler, but this horse maybe distance challenge.
Muda Katif, who we were talking about, this will be the state's debut for the Chad Brown 4-year-old son of Acclamation.
Like we talked about, this horse is working with a champion, with a Pegasus champion horse. He's going to be fine in this spot.
King of Spades, 38-1 for Kelly Breen.
You know, he's the kind of horse that he's a long shot usually most of the time, but he'll bring his A game here and there. 2 for 12 though last 2 years.
X-Prompt will be coming from the clouds for Brendan Walsh.
Coming out of a roughly run race last time at Gulfstream, could improve off of that effort.
Back-to-back wins for C Major for trainer Todd Pletcher.
Yeah, the lightly raced colt here, and 2 for 2 at Gulfstream Park. And last time he got spooked a little bit. This horse has got room for improvement, this Big Gray.
Elgar makes his turf debut with new trainer Bill Mott.
First time Bill Mott, first time turf, has run some pretty productive races on the poly. Sometimes that can transfer.
Watch me whip, Paul.
Watch me nene.
Thank you. Robbie Alvarado aboard for Dale Romans.
I can do that dance. Not very well. And I don't think Watch Me Whip has got a shot here at 28-1.
Passport to Chaos, trained by Jason Service. He's 44% at the meet.
Paul trying to dance is probably a passport to chaos. Jason Service, no introduction needed. This horse is alive.
53-1 on a horse who just won last time out at Gulfstream. Just the facts.
You know what, Greg? It was not that. I get it. 16,000 on 3, but it was a pretty good win wide most of the way. So not the worst 50-1 shot.
And Septimus Severus, another huge price on the outside, making just his second start on the grass.
His name's not Todd Pletcher, not Chad Brown, but George Weaver is sneaky, sneaky good.
Very capable trainer, sure, with a huge long shot there on the outside. For more on this 12th race from Gulfstream, let's go to Acacia.
Thanks, Greg. I'd love to try and get creative here and pick against the big favorite, but I do think that's going to be hard to pick against Mutakatif in here. And as you were mentioning, word is out that he has been outworking Bricks and Mortar in the mornings. And hearing from trainer Chad Brown, he did say that's a little bit of a Bobby Frankel style, working some of your top horses in company together. And we've seen him do this before, even thinking of New Money Honey and Rushing Fall in company together, working. This horse, he's had some gaps in his races. He's off of about a 9-month layoff, but he was handling himself beautifully in the walking ring and on the track. And sometimes you will see Irish bred or European bred horses just have a real lighter frame to them, given the quality and the moisture in the ground that they typically do run over. That's not the case with this horse. He's a really powerful neck and shoulder on him. He's very largely built, and whereas Bricks and Mortar is a more lithe horse, you do see the size of Mutakatif in company with him when watching those works once again. So I think this is the type of horse that will fare very, very well in the United States. Also, looking through his past performances, though he is just 1 for 5, he did finish second at one point behind Expert Eye, who was a Breeders' Cup Turf winner. The 6 X-Prompt was my price horse who I was going to include in here. I too think that last race was sneaky good. He was off slow. He really had a tough time in there. I liked him quite a bit in his first start off the layoff and his first North American start for trainer Brendan Walsh, who does a good job, and he's going to be a big price because all of the money is going to the Chad Brown horse. So I really think that he's one who might get some pace to run at in here as well. And talking about pace, that's going to be coming from the number 7 right next door to him in C Major. This horse is always on the muscle. He's really done very, very little wrong so far. I've seen him develop physically too. He's really gained some muscle definition. He's gained some maturity as well. He had good energy in the walking ring today, and I do think he's the type of horse, yes, he will be tested for class today, but we do think he might be able to take a step forward, Greg.
Well, the entire world knowing that information. You guys proud of yourselves here, going with 3 to 5?
I know, right?
I'm never ashamed. You can make money with 3 to 5 shots. You just got to be aggressive and hit like I said, the repeat button. It's there for a reason.
I'll tell you what, the 6, Brendan Walsh is a very underrated turf trainer, so 13-1, maybe he's the long shot.
So Mutakatif outworking Bricks and Mortar, winner of the Breeders' or Pegasus World Cup Turf, 3 to 5 in his state's debut. For Eclipse Award-winning trainer Chad Brown, Pete Aiello with the call. Mutakatif breaking from post 4 for his first start of his 2019 campaign.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Up on the outside, Just the Facts commences well. Septimius Severus has speed, and Passport to Chaos won't be far away. When the Doves Cry has speed from the rail. There's the big favorite, Mutakatif, who's taken hold. He's in the blue colors, and Castellano has strong hold of him early. He's keyed up. Then it's a length back to the inside, and Vegas Kitten, who's in the 2-path. Along the rail is the Green Moster. C Major's out 3 wide. At the rail is X-Prompt ahead of King of Spades with Elgar and Watch Me Whip at the back. 24-2 for the opening quarter speed. Mutakatif is not happy. He wants to go, and he wants to go now, but Javier wants him to sit. With the lead, it's When the Doves Cry in front by a neck. On the outside, Septimius Severus is second. Now Castellano gave Mutakatif a bargain as he moved 3 wide as they compromised with each other, a length and a half off the leader. Then it's Just the Facts, who's down at the inside, and Passport to Chaos is between, followed by C Major and Vegas Kitten. Down at the rail goes the Green Moster. Widest of all, Watch Me Whip. Held up is X-Prompt ahead of Elgar, and King of Spades is last. 49 seconds for the opening half mile. Now they begin to take a little bit more of a quick tempo here, and at a big number, Septimius Severus has the lead. Mutakatif given some more rein. He obliges nicely and moves to the leader second. C Major working overtime third. Passport to Chaos needs some place to go. The Green Moster winding it up from the back. 3/4, 1:12-3 as they straighten for the drive. Mutakatif is now let go to challenge for the lead. On the outside, and C Major toward the inside, Septimius Severus. Final 1/8 of a mile. Mutakatif and C Major on the outside. C Major is surging. C Major is in time. Wow, nice stretch kick there from C Major. He just outran Mutakatif in 1:36 flat.
C Major make it 3 in a row for the son of Shanghai Bobby. For Todd Pletcher, just nosing out Mutakatif.
I think he wasted a little bit too much energy on the backside. Good for him. Look, what do you do? Sometimes these trips will catch up with you. It's horse racing. It's not roulette. Even money is a good idea, but doesn't always go your way.
They came home in 11 and change, so none of these horses were stopping. This is a good horse race.
7-4-12 finish, 3 in a row for C Major. We're going to take a break. The Essex Handicap coming up from Oaklawn when we return, followed by the second division of the Rebel Stakes on the road to the Kentucky Derby.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm. Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Oaklawn Park. Run Happy, of course, standing there at $25,000. Run Happy, race medication free, a Breeders' Cup champion. What a good racehorse, terrific stallion as our coverage continues from Oaklawn Park in kind of the calm before the storm, in between storms. Big upset in the first division of the Rebel. The big favorite, Improbable Denied. We'll have the second division featuring Game Winner in about 30 minutes, but first things first, the Essex final local prep for the Oaklawn Handicap. Post-parade, you saw Dalmore speed from the rail. Hence, though, Mike Smith, Steve Asmussen teaming up.
Yeah, and just the opposite of Dalmore. I think this is a horse that's going to come from well from off the pace, and he's going to get a lot of pace up front.
Same team that combined for the victory in the Azeri with Midnight Bizou. Hence, how about Sonneteer? Sonneteer, second in the 2017 Rebel as a maiden at 112-1.
Also owned by the Calumet Farm, as is Hence, and another that wants to come from back.
Sonneteer. How about Nanouche, non-factor in the President's Day Razorback?
Had a good form going into that race. Didn't do well in the Razorback. Needs to improve today.
Number 5, Chris and Dave, more speed.
More speed and maybe the speed of the speed. Look for the 5, Chris and Dave, to be in front early. Don't know about late.
A lot of pace in this Essex. Heavy roller, David Cabrera off his mounts. Jose Ortiz rides.
Here's some value here in one of the races. I like this horse, Heavy Roller, a lot. We'll talk about him a little bit more as the race gets closer.
Snapper Sinclair, quick. Second at 2, trained by Steve Asmussen.
And a speedy one at that. Another one that adds to the pace in this race.
Class, Giant Expectations, New York bred, California based.
This is a good horse, Giant Expectations. His bad races are against some of the best in the country. Today's a good race, but he's not facing Gun Runner, Battle of Midway, or City of Light.
I see you, Jonathan Kinshin, rated our superstar. Kinshin told you he liked him, and he ran third in the Razorback at 80-1, 13-1 today.
He's going to get what he wants. A lot of pace up front. He might be the deepest closer of all in this race.
And that is the field for the 2019 Essex. Older horses taking center stage, a $350,000 purse, mile and a 16th distance. Same as all the stakes races this afternoon. We're approximately just about poach time. Interested to see how the wagering would look, Tom. Giant Expectations, despite the fact he hasn't won since December 2017, is 3-2 favorite.
I don't remember Christmas 2017, but that's the last time he won. Now, Some of his bad races are against really, really good horses, and he does want to be close. He does want to show speed, but in my mind, that price of 3-2 does not fit his form. I've got to go away from that and look for value.
Does the losing streak end today? We'll find out when we come back. Giant Expectations, 3-2 in the Essex on Rebel Day at Oaklawn.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
Back on Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. We want to hear from you. Some of the biggest names in racing have emerged victorious in the Rebel Stakes. Who was your favorite all-time winner of the big race at Oaklawn? Smarty Jones, Lawyer Ron Curlin, or Triple Crown winner American Pharaoh into the 37-year drought? Make your voice heard. 3 hours left in that poll. Go to @ADR Live and cast your selection. Right now we have the Essex Handicap coming up, and then it's that second division of the Rebel with Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, game winner. But here in the Essex, Snapper Sinclair mentioned earlier, Jeff Bloom and Bloom Racing, a chance to sweep the Azeri and Essex. And Snapper Sinclair, you guys both like this horse.
I think he's going to be forwardly placed. I think Giant Expectations right outside of him is going to be forward as well, going to take a lot of money. But one thing about Giant Expectations that kind of turned me off is if you look through his form, he misses the break a lot. Now he's at a new racetrack and a new gate with a new crew. The chances are I think he might miss the break here again, and I think Ricardo is going to be forward with Snapper Sinclair. There's a lot more value at 6-1 with Snapper Sinclair, and he could end up getting a good trip sitting outside of Chris and Dave. So
I reiterate everything he says. I just think he might have to sit outside of Dalmore, and this is a horse that was on the Triple Crown Trail last year at Louisiana. So I'd like to get Tom's thoughts about the 7 Snappy Sinclair, because he finally sealed the deal last year, and I'm wondering if Oaklawn Park just might be his track.
Yeah, well, he started out with victories on turf as a 2-year-old. As Paul mentioned, he was on the Triple Crown Trail, but last out, his first win on dirt. As we go to Lafitte and Tom.
Snapper Sinclair, Tom, what do you think?
I agree with Paul. I think he has an affinity for this track here at Oaklawn. That gives him an advantage. But his style and how they're going to shape up going in the first turn, there's quite a bit of speed in here. Lafitte, Dalmore from the 1 hole has to go. Chris and Dave, the 5 will be part of it.
Snapper Sinclair and Giant Expectation.
100%. And I think it's going to be hot on the front end. I don't see anybody clearing this field.
Heavy roller. There he is. Your thoughts on him going in?
He's a different horse. Sometimes it happens by circumstance. He got left 2 starts back. They found out something about him. He's better from well off the pace. He's going to get that kind of pace today. Draw a line through his form except for his last 2 races, and you've got a horse that's paying a good number here.
Jose Ortiz riding with David Cabrera off his mounts this afternoon. But the favorite, Giant Expectations with the back class, the one to beat, perhaps, in the Essex from Oaklawn. Vic Stauffer standing by.
They're at the post. They're off. Perfect start. Dalmore, Chris and Dave, and Nanush, who's asked for speed. Snapper Sinclair in the center, and these four ensure a lively and contested pace right across the track. Giant Expectations comes away in a beautiful spot in fifth. Then comes Heavy Roller and Sonneteer, 2 lengths to Rated R Superstar, and Hence is at the back of the pack as they turn into the backstretch in the 71st Essex Handicap, and Dalmore is the leader. Dalmore slows it down a bit, 3/4 to Nanush, a 3 wide. Snapper Sinclair is right there in striking position. Chris and Dave and Giant Expectations, 4th and 5th and 3.5 lengths off the lead. Heavy Roller is in the pink blinkers. He's got 5 to make up. Rated R Superstar and Sonneteer alongside each other, and 7 from the front. And then 10 lengths last to Hence. There's a half-mile left to run. Dalmore and a closer Nanush. These two are matching strides, and Nanush has taken the lead from Dalmore in second. Giant Expectations is moving 4 wide outside of Snapper Sinclair. Here is Snapper Sinclair and Giant Expectations. Rated R Superstar is all the way up into 4th, and he's only a length off the lead and making a 4 wide rush. 4 of them across the track. Snapper Sinclair, Giant Expectations, and Rated R Superstar. These 3 for the final furlong, and it is still Rated R Superstar, Giant Expectations, and Snapper Sinclair. And look at the 3 of them come to the wider. Rated R Superstar, Giant Expectations battles on at the rail. Snapper Sinclair, Rated R Superstar. Snapper Sinclair, Rated R Superstar won the Essex over Snapper Sinclair. Maybe Nanush for 3rd.
Wild scramble, driving finish, Rated R Superstar. Again, Jonathan Kinchin liked him a little bit in the Razorback. Ran 3rd at 80-1. Today at 14-1, takes down the Essex.
He did indeed. He did it going widest of all and laying off a really hot pace. Half mile and 47 and change. Joe Rosario and Giant Expectations did all he could to push him out of the way. Couldn't get it done. He just was too much. But you've got to give credit to Snapper Sinclair. Snapper Sinclair was part of the pace the whole way, and the only one there at the end got beat ahead.
Tough. Battling with a big white blaze. Snapper Sinclair, Giant Expectations. That losing streak continues going back to December 2017, but he ran hard. Ran hard, just run down late. And for Rated R Superstar, what's gotten into him?
Look, you know what? He's always been a good horse, as long as he gets his pace, and he got it today.
Rated R Superstar, 2nd lifetime win here at Oaklawn Park. You see 3 of them across the track. Giant Expectations toiling there in 3rd. Snapper Sinclair doing everything he can, but in the end, a late surge. Rated R Superstar with Dela Cruz, the pickup mount here. Dela Cruz in the Essex. Next stop, maybe the most prestigious race for older horses here at Oaklawn Park in the Oaklawn Handicap.
I don't see why not. It's a little further in distance and suiting. Giant Expectations, no excuse. He made a big, bold move around the turn. His race was nothing short of disappointing, even though he finished 3rd.
Hey, Greg, tell me Jonathan had a few bucks on him. Just a few. Rated R Superstar in another big effort in pulling off the upset.
If you did, you're probably wishing we saw this result last time, right? At 80-1?
Yeah, right. Look, the last time I used him, I was just freezing cold in the infield with Lafitte. It probably drove me crazy why I did it then. Today, I'm sitting here in the studio in the comforts. I'm warm. I didn't make the same decision.
Yeah, good job. It was a good job by Walter De La Cruz. He stayed wide, stayed out of trouble. And Snapper Sinclair is just battling in between. And you can see the rider on Giant Expectations. He seemed like he was more worried about the outside horse. Meanwhile, Snapper was keeping on trying on the inside.
Snapper's the type of horse I love betting back. It's called Best of Speed. He was the one that held out of all the speed horses, and he's the horse I want to bet out of this race. I'll look for him when he gets into the entry box again.
9-7-8 in the Essex Rated R Superstar. Walter De La Cruz, the pickup mount victory. Cipriano Contreras still to come. The 2nd division of the Rebel Stakes in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner. Game winner making his return in his 3-year-old debut for Baffert next.
All the run happies I've seen are very athletic, great walks, just big, athletic, loose moving. I think they're gorgeous. I love them. You know, I'm a pinhooker. This is stretching for me. But you have to stretch it on the good ones. Extremely athletic. It's just super cool.
Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at nairabets.com.
This one is by Tappet and is a brilliant Grade 1 winner.
Elliott, of course you're talking about Constitution. He was a TD and Rising Star in his debut. He became an undefeated Grade 1 winner when he won the Florida Derby in his third start. And in the Don Handicap as a 4-year-old, he ran a 111 Beyer speed figure, which is still the fastest Tappet around 2 turns.
And don't forget about his allowance race when he beat Wicked Strong and Tunnelist. His first 2-year-olds have every right to be fast.
You're watching Fox Sports Saturday at the races on Fox Sports 2. It's brought to you in part by America's Best Racing. Are you up for anything? You'll want to visit americasbestracing.net for the latest and greatest. And again, share your experiences at the racetrack with us here on Fox Sports 2. Use the hashtag ABR at the races. In the Essex Handicap, he comes from the clouds. He almost got there in the Razorback at 80-1 back on February the 18th on President's Day. Today, he did get there in the Essex.
Congratulations to Crystal Racing Enterprises and Contreras. Cipriano Contreras has done some great things with this son of Kodiak Cowboy of a Gold Case mare. It just shows you pedigree means nothing. That's sprint over sprint. This horse is a dead closer in long distances. $31. That pick 3 is good, but the cross country has now gotten very interesting considering you beat a Baffert horse and you got a 30-1 shot. And when the Baffert horse that you beat was improbable, that a lot of people singled. Now, I know you see Midnight Bisou, but probably people went too deep in there. And a lot of people don't like to single that first leg, Greg. So if you're alive, good luck. You're alive for a good payoff.
Did you guys sneak a peek?
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm about to pull it up right here. It's kind of hard to find.
Coming up next, the Breeders' Cup juvenile winner making his 3-year-old return to the races. He resides back in Southern California in the former stall of American Pharoah.
Listen, he's the 2-year-old tramp. A lot's been said that Improbable was working better than him. He hasn't been looking great in the morning. Bob will even tell you he's the type of horse that isn't a morning horse. He's the type of horse that does his work in the afternoon. And listen, he's a 3-time Grade 1 winner. How can you take that away from him? And he's going to have to deal with the horse in Omaha Beach and Hall of Fame trainer Richard Mandela.
Yeah, he's not the only Southern California shipper here. And, of course, the regular rider on Omaha Beach, Flavien Prat, is opting to move off and go elsewhere. So it's Mike Smith, the Hall of Famer, taking over on Omaha Beach. Uh-oh. Mike Smith going to be up to some antics here. We'll find out shortly. We'll talk about it in a moment. As for Richard Mandela, here's what he had to say about Omaha Beach and praising Oaklawn. Actually, we'll get to that in a moment. Let's take a look at the maiden victory. He won by 9 lengths last time out. He was close to the pace throughout on a sloppy racetrack at Santa Anita.
I tried to beat this horse this day. He'd kind of been like a workout monster, a workout morning glory type. That was a mandatory pick 6 payout this day. I tried to beat him, and it was over pretty quick, then I was wrong. But I think he's an impressive horse, talented horse, working well in the morning. And I just think that Game Winner's a little bit vulnerable here. I wish I would have thought Improbable was the one that was vulnerable, but I thought it was Game Winner. I think he's sitting on a big race with Omaha Beach.
Richard Mandela, as mentioned, praised Oaklawn for putting this together with his split divisions. He knows he's got a tall task ahead.
We're pretty lucky to have Oaklawn Park come up with a big purse like this and split it. It's not an easy race, but we'll all know where we stand when we leave here. Each time I run Omaha Beach, I think he's going to win. And he's had excuses in the races. I'm hoping someday somebody doesn't look back and say, how did Mandela get him beat so many times? Because he is a very good horse.
So Flavien Prat, he chose Gunmetal Gray. That means Mike Smith hops aboard here for the first time.
Yeah, I was really kind of interested in that decision. I thought that Omaha Beach and his, Flavian Pratt's relationship with Richard Mandela would supersede that. But there's a switch there. Mike rode Gunmetal Gray the last couple of times too.
Yeah.
When you try to follow the jockey game, sometimes it can lead you astray. So do that with caution. But I think Omaha Beach is live. I would have picked Omaha Beach over Gunmetal Gray. I think Gunmetal Gray got a huge setup in the sham, and I'd like to lean towards Omaha Beach.
See, I'm against Omaha Beach, and I'll tell you why. Because the reason why is the horse has been beaten favorite 4 out of the 5 times. And the only time the horse has won is last time out, going 7 furlongs, going 1 turn. I get it. He beat a field by a mile. But now he's facing a horse that's won 3 Grade 1s. This horse has beaten maidens. All the other horses that he's beaten have never won. That's a tough task.
Something to be said, though, for that light bulb coming on, finally putting it all together, which Omaha Beach did last time out. Reportedly working lights out in the morning as well. Much more in the Rebel coming up. Let's send it out to Oaklawn right now and Nancy Holthus.
Here with 2 guys that know how to make the sport even more fun, Dan and Bram of America's Best Racing. Now, Dan, something that is totally amazing that has taken over in the sport is social media, and you found a way to make it even better.
Yeah, we're pumped. America's Best Racing likes to think that it sort of leads the way in this front, and we're encouraging people to kind of get involved, engage with us by using the hashtag ABR at the races. So when you're at the track, show us your tickets, show us what you're wearing, show us what you're drinking, show us your favorite horses, and tag it with hashtag ABR at the races, and then we'll take those photos and those videos, and some of them will appear on Fox Sports 2, and some of them will appear on America's Best Racing.
I'll have to tweet out the Fascinator. Now, Bram, you've got your 3rd season of your radio show coming up. What can the fans expect?
The Winner's Circle airs nationally Saturdays on SB Nation Radio, and then turns into a podcast. You can get that anywhere you get it, especially at America's Best Racing. Our first guest is going to be Jake Delhomme, the former quarterback who's a big horseman now in Louisiana. Second guest will be Victor Espinoza, who's going to talk all about his recovery from that tough spill from a year ago. And we're hoping that you will grace us with your presence on Arkansas Derby Day.
Well, I guess that's one interview I've already got lined up for Arkansas Derby Day.
Yes. Good. Then it's done, and I'm going to hold you to it, and it's on tape.
Book it, Nancy Holthus.
You can't say no on national TV.
No, you can't.
Put her in a corner.
Back at Gulfstream, race 13, we have a maiden special weight here. It's a mile on the turf, and apparently everyone saw what Todd Pletcher did in the last race, so they say, let's make his first-time starter the favorite in this spot as well. Moni, the 10, at 5-2 on the board. Let's go to Acacia Courtney.
Thanks, Greg. Yes, he is your current favorite first-time starter for Zayat Stables by Scat Daddy, and he's just a big, imposing horse. He looks like he's just ready for battle. He will debut with shortcut blinkers on, and just watching his attitude in the walking ring, he was acting a little bit playful, acting up a bit, and that could be the reason for the blinkers on in his first start. He does have to navigate from the outside post, but again, he looks like he is prepared. I do think that he should handle the turf just fine as well. In fact, he's the full brother to a stakes place horse who was a multiple turf winner. Certainly with that, yes, it's true, influence on the bottom side and Scat Daddy on the top. He should just be fine here. But looking at a couple of others, I did like a horse at a bit of a price, or hoping he would be a price, and that's the 9 Lucky Mike. We have a couple of horses in this field coming out of that race on February 18th. February 18th. And this horse is coming back as a gelding now. He didn't join in the walking ring. He was last in the post parade, and he just looks like a horse that's super fit, and that's pretty normal for him to get keyed up. And I saw, now being a gelding, I saw a different attitude from him, which I did like to see as far as his improvement does go. So hoping he takes a step forward for what's perhaps not the best well-known barn, but one that does a very good job in Lily Curtinets and does have Amisael Jaramillo in the saddle. And just to wrap things up, the number 8, You Should Be So Lucky. He did some good running last time out, and I do think he's going to show some more speed today. Really bumped around at the start last time out for Eddie Plisa in that same race we're kind of talking about. So if he gets a clean break today, he could be on the engine a little bit earlier on, and he did look well prepared, but looks like the race does go through the Pletcher first, or at least that's just how the public is seeing it. It's been a big day for Todd Pletcher. We'll see if he keeps the momentum going right through the end, Greg.
Well, the Pletcher first-time starter breaking from post 10, $385,000, son of Scat Daddy, as we take a look, though, at the 9, and that's the horse who was recently gelded, Lucky Mike.
Well, this is a race that they're betting this horse because none of the order of the horses have really shown much. When you look at this race, you have the 9, first-time gelding, you have the 2, La Hinch, but when you look at a lot of these horses, The 5, Bodie Cody, ran a very good race last time out at 32-1. The 6 was 76-1. The 7 actually was 5-1 first time out. A lot of these horses were in the 60s and 80s to 1.
I think the tote board is a big indicator when you look at these maiden races. You know, you try to figure out what's going to happen, who's going to run well. And when I see horses that aren't bet in maiden races, it makes me a little nervous. The 10 horse didn't work that great last time. Moni, the one that's the favorite for Todd Pletcher, didn't work that great on the grass. That's why I ended up going with the 3. Had a good turf work. You got to make sure when you're looking at the workout reports, you got to see if the work was on the grass or on the dirt, and what are they running on today.
Yeah, that work back on February the 23rd, Palm Meadows, was intriguing from Mulhanzy. 2 sprints on dirt, now stretching out to a mile, getting 9-2 on the 3.
The horse should be on the front end. The 3 is going to be the horse to catch by far.
5-2 favoritism, though, to a horse who has not yet started. That is Moni for trainer Todd Pletcher. Luis Saez will be aboard. Pete Aiello with the call. 13th from Gulfstream here in this maiden special weight.
Red Fog, Jeffrey Sanchez going up and in, all set for a start. And runners away. Mulhanzy begins well with La Hinch showing speed to his inside. Lucky Mike moves up on the outside, and Red Fog is widest of all. They're followed by Jeeker Joe, who's between horses, passed by both Moni and You Should Be So Lucky. Then it's back to the inside. It's Cocklerum ahead of Street Giant. And at the back of the field early is Bodie Cody. Around the first turn they go, and with the lead, it's still Lucky Mike, a length and a quarter. Red Fog is there second. 2.5 lengths back to Mulhanzy, who's a joint third, alongside Moni from fourth. Then it's the team of I Stand Corrected and You Should Be So Lucky, working 3 ahead of La Hinch. Jeeker Joe between horses, Street Giant on the outside. 2.5 lengths back to Cockalorum, and the trailer is Bodie Cody. 23-4 for the opening quarter. Down the backstretch they continue. Lucky Mike is coasting along at this stage. He's comfortable up front. He leads the way a length and a half. Red Fog is there second. Mulhanzy's at the inside with Moni on the outside. They're third and fourth. 2 back to You Should Be So Lucky. With a rail run, here's Cockalorum, now drawn within 5 lengths of the lead under Brian Hernandez Jr. In between horses, I Stand Corrected. Wide on the course is Street Giant. Jeeker Joe looks for some place to go. Then La Hinch and Bodie Cody as they round the far turn. Less than 3 furlongs to go. Lucky Mike now has to sprint for home as Red Fog is up alongside second. Far outside again. Coming on now is Moni. Trying to work into the clear is Mulhanzy at the rail, and You Should Be So Lucky as they swing for home. Lucky Mike set down for the drive by jockey Misael Jaramillo. Red Fog takes his shot on the outside second. You Should Be So Lucky into the clear, and La Hinch down the center. La Hinch and Bravo going best of all late, but Red Fog's up for the lead. Here's Lucky Mike one more time. Red Fog. Red Fog and Jeffrey Sanchez for the money. Closer for second. Lucky Mike or La Hinch in 137 flat.
We talked about most of the horses coming out of that You Should Be So Lucky race. We did not mention Red Fog, the big long shot at 19-1.
Yeah, good job of conditioning here by Stanley Gold to get the job done. You're right, $40 winner to close out the card. How about the 2 La Hinch? He had to be about 8 or 9 wide on the turn as the 9 was battling on the inside, ended up being third best. But no doubt about your winner in another price here on our show. We've had some prices today.
We have nearly 20-1 on Red Fog. We'll have those prices coming up in just a moment. And, of course, still the second division of the Rebel Stakes to come with Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Game Winner, making his 3-year-old debut. When Oaklawn Park officially opened in the early 1900s, a holiday was declared in Hot Springs, Arkansas to mark the occasion. Over the years, the trip to Oaklawn Park has evolved into much more than just racing. It has become an unforgettable experience. Here's Lafitte Pinkai with the story of a track that has turned into a star in the sport of kings.
Since 1904, Oaklawn has been one of the nation's premier racetracks.
There's so many factors that come into Oaklawn being a unique meet. The location is an ideal location, the time of year, and the quality of racing that they bring throughout the country at that time of year. It's just top shelf.
The fans here at Oaklawn are probably the best fans in the country. They show up, rain or shine.
You know what? I love Oaklawn because it is that tradition. And you still get fans that come out on the big days, and the attendance equals the population of the town. Horse racing is the only professional sport in the state of Arkansas.
I think it's a good time. Number one, family, friends, bet a little bit of money. It's a good day.
And the good days have extended to the handicapper. In 2018, Oaklawn led the country in average field size of 9.2 horses per race.
For a handicapper, if you've kept up, you can get strong value in these races because, truthfully, horses will show up from 6 jurisdictions. This is our Saratoga of the South. We try to get horses from all over the country to set up to come here knowing we have a strong 57-day meet for some very strong money.
Oaklawn is the #1 tourist destination in Arkansas and is set to embark on a $100 million plus privately funded expansion project, all while never losing focus of the Sella family's 115-year love of thoroughbred racing.
Family's motto is racing first, and so everything we do, the hotel, the expansion of the game room, and the event center is all into and try to enhance the racing product. We've seen purse increases for the last 11 years straight since we've incorporated the gaming side of life. And so as we continue to enhance the gaming product, continue to make this more of a resort environment, just that evolution. As the racing product enhances, so does our fans, and so does that exposure across the country.
Well, a trip to Oaklawn is an incredible experience, and again, a big shout out to the officials of Oaklawn Park for making the split divisions of the Rebel Stakes happen after the cancellation of the San Felipe. They stepped up, put an extra $500,000 of purse money in the pot to make this happen and have all those horses be accommodated from Southern California that did not have the chance to run on the San Felipe.
If this race isn't split, there's no way the great fans at Oaklawn and Hot Springs get to see Game Winner and Improbable. And so they got to see both of them here. They got 2 undefeated horses they wouldn't have got.
1-2 on the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Champ. Game Winner, perfect 4 for 4 in his career, including a 2-year-old championship. His stablemate was undefeated. He got beat in the first division of the Rebel. What will be Game Winner's fate in his return to the races? We will find out next.
Warfront has sired 8 champions and 10 millionaires. Recent Grade 1 winners include Homesman, Fog of War, Lancaster Bomber, and European champion U.S. Navy Flag, plus 2019 Kentucky Derby hopeful War of Will. He's also sire of the highest price yearling sold in North America in 2018, and international super sire on all surfaces and all fronts. Warfront, standing at Claiborne Farm.
There's one thing that everybody wants in our game is they want speed. Daredevil has the speed. You know that he ran a 107 Beyer when he won the Champagne Stakes, the Grade 1. That's faster than Uncle Mo, Scat Daddy, and Union Rags.
As a 2-year-old, he ran a 96 Beyer when he broke his maiden, a 107 Beyer in the Champagne, beating a nice horse in Upstart. He is by more than ready, another feather in his cap. I can't wait to see these horses run it too.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Oaklawn Park. Gearing up for the second edition of the Rebel Stakes. Our coverage brought to you in part by the Claiborne Farm. So this has been what we've seen this afternoon, Tom. The afternoon has been tough on favorites. Midnight Bizou defeating a late in the Azeri. We saw Improbable go down in the first division of the Rebel, and moments ago, Giant Expectations turned away in the Essex, and maybe we're seeing You know, the rally widers, the closers are doing awfully well here.
They are, and that's the style of our favorite, Game Winner, so there's no reason to believe that that's something that's going to work against him. And there is a bunch of speed in this race as well, Lafitte.
And we'll see each of the runners for the Rebel Stakes. Of course, this post parade brought to you by OCD Pellets. OCD Pellets celebrating over 10 years of supporting the equine industry with their 2-in-1 bone and joint supplement. For more information, visit OCDpellets.com. All eyes on Game Winner for this post parade. You'll see him shortly. Market King, though, to start, run inside for D. Wayne Lucas.
Market King, you mentioned, is for Wayne Lucas. He's got speed. He's coming off a sprint. He's going to go from the rail today.
Laughing Fox, late threat.
1 of 4 for Steve Asmussen. He's run better as a closer in his last 2.
Laughing Fox, currently 9-1. Number 3, Parsimony, a maiden, 0 for 7 in his career.
They've tried a lot of different things with him. Nothing's worked. He's the longest price in the field for a reason.
Team that's won several Triple Crown races, though. Paul Redham, Doug O'Neill, Mario Gutierrez. Jersey Agenda, 8th in the Southwest. Disappointing.
Disappointing. I think this is the Asmussen horse of the quartet that goes straight to the front and tries to set it up for his stablemates.
Game Winner, 28 opponents faced, 28 opponents defeated.
I think you said it all. He's the champion. He's come into this year in very good form in terms of his workouts. Tough to beat today.
Omaha Beach Triple Crown winning jockey Mike Smith rides for the first time.
Yeah, he does indeed. And another horse that I think is going to show speed coming off a one-turn race.
Our Brain Trust third defeated a neck in New York's Withers.
You know, he didn't get beat far. It's unusual to see a trainer change equipment. Blinkers on there. Mark Cassidy must have saw something that race he didn't like.
Gunmetal Gray, Sham Stakes winner at Santa Anita, currently 10-1. We move to a long shot. Kazaranga would be a big surprise.
He'd be a big surprise. Another one with a rider, change of equipment, blinkers on.
Captain Von Trapp, 2 for 2 here at Oaklawn Park.
He is, and both those races were with blinkers. The only 2 races career with blinkers. He has improved with that change.
Captain Von Trapp, big price at 47-1. That's your field for the second division of the Rebel Stakes, and we check in with Nancy.
Richard Mandela sends out the number 6 Omaha Beach in this division of the Grade 2 Rebel. He's not only making his graded stakes, but his stakes debut, also shipping for the first time. Now he comes off a very impressive maiden victory, scored that gate to wire by 9. It was over the slop. Now tell us how he handled this ship, and what do you think of his performance potential here in the race today?
Well, we've always thought he was a really good horse. Gotten beat a few times, but not badly. Had a few excuses. But we're hoping he's up to the game today, and we think there's a good chance.
Well, we have seen some big prices here today, and Mike Smith does have a stakes win on the afternoon, and he absolutely looks fantastic, and he looks like he's taken well here to the surface thus far.
So far, he looks real good. Yeah.
Well, good luck in the Rebel here today, and let's get you some points, Richard.
Thank you.
All right, Omaha Beach in this afternoon's Rebel Stakes.
Okay.
Omaha Beach at 5-1. Big step up, coming off a maiden win, now taking on Graded Stakes Company, not to mention the 2-year-old champion in Game Winner. But what about Game Winner here now? 3-year-old debut, having to alter his plan, was expected to run in Southern California, not only having to train over a different track at Los Alamitos, but having to ship to the Midwest as well.
He's run on a lot of different racetracks already. I don't think that'll be an issue for him. He ran well at Churchill, ran well at Santa Anita. So I don't think that's, and at Del Mar as well. So I don't think that'll be an issue for him at all. For me, looking at the workouts, I just expected him probably be the one that was going to win and him to be the one that was going to be vulnerable. I wanted to give Omaha Beach a shot. I'm going to give Omaha Beach a shot. The price is a little bit square. But the way the track's been playing today, it feels like Game Winner could sneak back up and kind of right the ship for Bob Baffert. But I wouldn't be surprised at 2-5. I mean, I usually am surprised when 2-5s get beat. I wouldn't be shocked if this horse got beat today.
Yeah, I guess. You know, I actually would be, because I think he's the real deal. I do. I think Bob's been sitting on him. I understand he's not the prettiest mover. I will tell you this, though. I do think Omaha Beach, Mike Smith's going to give the old Bodemeister ride. He's going to go very, very fast and say, come catch me if you can, and try to run the rest of this field off their feet.
All these runners shipping from Southern California altered their plans for the 7-hour Brain Trust. This was plan A for trainer Mark Cassidy, so we'll see if that works out in his favor. 10-1 on the board right now as we send it back to Lafitte and Tom.
All right, guys, so the big story here, the highly decorated game winner, undefeated, reigning 2-year-old champion, Breeders' Cup juvenile winner. And despite the fact Improbable was denied in the first division of the Rebel, now it's game winner's turn, Tom. And we look back at how he became a champion. You know, it wasn't easy. In terms of the trip, we just saw Improbable get beat in part because of all the ground he lost on the first turn. For game winner, same deal in the Breeders' Cup juvenile. He breaks, he gets stacked out wide going into the first turn.
He got stacked out wide going into the first turn. He got stacked out again going the second turn. He got bumped around by Go Nix at the late in the straight, late in the stretch. I mean, this horse probably ran 50 yards further than the second place horse. So how does this not open your eyes to what a good horse game winner is?
Legendary trainer Bobby Frankel used to tell his jockeys, I'm okay if you lose ground on one turn, not both turns. For game winner, Joel Rosario here playing the hand he's dealt, sent wide again in the far turn, losing more precious ground on a championship stage. And then in deep stretch, just whacked, as you mentioned, by Nick's Go. And it seemed like it almost motivated game winner. He dug in. He showed that moxie. He is absolutely relentless and claws his way to winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and a championship.
He was indeed. He's our 2-year-old champion. He comes into this race with a chance to stamp himself as the favorite going into the Kentucky Derby at this stage.
So, quick text exchange with the Hall of Fame trainer Bob Baffert. He's good with Improbable's race. He's good. It doesn't sound like he's lost any confidence whatsoever. Good, positive race, he says. And regarding game winner, we know he says he's the man. Obviously, he's the champ, but also reemphasizes that he's a strong, strong horse. Racing helps him the farther, the better, Tom. This is something we've heard in the past about game winner. Baffert said before the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, same thing. Excels with the more racing and more training. If that's the case, if he excels with more racing and training and hasn't had a race in 4 months, is that a vulnerability today? How much does he need a race?
So when you weigh that against how well he won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, and you look at him on the racetrack, and he looks like a mature 3-year-old, I can't, in my mind, make that the reason he gets beat today. I look at him as a horse that has a chance to wow us.
We've seen some big names, some big-time talent denied in some of these Kentucky Derby prep races in recent weeks. Hidden Scroll in the Fountain of Youth, win in the Tampa Bay Derby, Instagram in the Gotham. Improbable about an hour ago in the first division of the Rebel. Negative trend for game winner, though maybe more of a coincidence than anything else at this stage.
So if you're saying the picture is cloudy at this stage for the Kentucky Derby, I agree. But things could clear up in a matter of 10 minutes, and it might be as clear as this blue sky above us. I think game winner has a chance, again, to really say to the world, here I am, people.
Key Kentucky Derby prep race. You're watching the second division of the Rebel Stakes on Fox Sports 2. The return of game winner, 2-5 the favorite. Omaha Beach, big talent, coming off of a big win. Key to victory, key to success this afternoon for Omaha Beach.
I just don't see him clearing the field as Paul thinks. I think there are other horses that have that in mind. Steve Asmussen has 4 in this race. There's no way he didn't get together with those 4 jockeys and say, you do this, you do that. And to me, Jersey Agenda the 4 is going right out of the gate.
Are you looking at this race any differently because of the way mile and a 16th races have been won this afternoon for the most part at Oaklawn, horses coming from far off the pace?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the favorites that didn't win had reasons for not winning, and the ones that did win, you know, they won for the right reasons. They were the best horse.
4 years ago, trainer Bob Baffert brought a 2-year-old champion to the Rebel Stakes. His name was American Pharaoh. He wound up winning the Triple Crown. What about game winner? Undefeated, the 2-year-old champion, odds-on favorite in the second division of the Rebel Stakes. Vic Stauffer standing by.
2 more now, Kazarenga and Captain Von Trapp. They're at the post. They're off. Good start. Omaha Beach caught a flyer and goes to the front from Market King and Jersey Agenda. Our Brain Trust is taken back off those 3. Then comes Parsimony and Game Winner, who came away well, and he's mid-pack. Kazarenga is next. Then goes Laughing Fox, and at the back of the pack is the stretch-running Gunmetal Gray. To the backstretch in the 59th running of the Rebel, and Market King is the trailer, is the leader. He has taken over the lead from Omaha Beach, who continues pumping bumped up early. Market King a half length in front of Omaha Beach in second. Jersey Agenda is bracketed by Parsimony the Gray at the rail and Our Brain Trust just outside. Those two are two from the front. Game Winner is still mid-pack. At the half-mile pole, he's got 4.5 lengths to make up, and he's in the clear for Joel Rosario. Then comes Captain Von Trapp. Laughing Fox is 5 off the lead. To the outside, Casaranga, Gunmetal Gray still trails, and Omaha Beach makes his move. Omaha Beach, a length in front of Market King. Then comes Game Winner, and here comes Game Winner up after Omaha Beach. These two go to the quarter pole, 1-2. Omaha Beach, 3/4 of a length from Game Winner, who is pushed along now by Joel Rosario. Here's Captain Von Trapp running a good race. He's up into third. They run to the top of the stretch. Omaha Beach is in front. He has a 2-length lead on Game Winner, who has to go right now. Omaha Beach past mid-stretch. Now a length and a half. Game Winner trying to gun him down on the money, and Rosario says it's game time. Here's Game Time outside Omaha Beach. Game Winner, Omaha Beach right together in Omaha Beach. I think he turned him away. These two were far in front. Omaha Beach inside, Game Winner outside, right together.
Fireworks in the stretch of the second division of the Rebel Stakes. The California Invaders, noses bobbing on the wire. Omaha Beach and the champ, Game Winner, too close to call, Tom Amis.
I don't know. I like the inside in this spot. We'll see if it's that way for Omaha Beach. Wouldn't be denied. He looks Game Winner right in the eye and fights back. I really thought the inside was our guy here in Omaha Beach. And I'll tell you, on the gallop out, Omaha Beach really got after the gallop out well. He's one to reckon with.
In the shadow of the wire,
oh
did Omaha Beach get the worst of the bob? Was his head coming back as Game Winner's nose was going down? I don't know.
Time's very similar to the first division. 7 100s faster than the first division. So you're looking at two races that were very similar in terms of final time.
Two of the strongest finishers in the game. Mike Smith, who had gone to that left hand, his patented move in the stretch on the outside. One of the strongest finishers in the game, Joel Rosario, muscling the champ home, heads bobbing, and you have a packed house of 45,000 here at Oaklawn Park this afternoon, eagerly awaiting the results of the photo. I don't know, Tom.
It is very tight. If you look at the reins dangling from the outside of Omaha Beach, you wonder if Joe Rosario might have lost his cross. It's very unusual to see the reins dangling instead of being tight on a horse at the end of a race.
Cameras on both of them here at Oaklawn. Omaha Beach, Game Winner. Game Winner's so tough when it looked like, and again, we're waiting the results of the photo, but for certain at about the 8th pole, Tom, it looked like Game Winner was going to be handed his first career defeat. He would have none of it.
And I agree. Look, we're looking at two horses so far ahead of the field. These are two horses that I think now move to the front of the class for us as far as the Kentucky Derby goes.
For Omaha Beach, he's been on the short end of multiple photos, defeated a nose, a neck, a half length in another race before that blowout maiden score, and now here in another absolute brawl with Game Winner. Photos available. Omaha Beach, by a flared nostril, does hand the champ his first ever defeat. Omaha Beach in the second division of the Rebel Stakes. Wow.
I hate to see a loser in this race. Those two horses put on a show for us today that is just a great way to end a super stakes day at Oaklawn Park. It's disappointing that one had to lose.
About Richard Mandella, the fact that he started his first Kentucky Derby starter in 1984. Richard Mandella has not started a Derby runner since 2004. Legend, Hall of Fame career, Richard Mandella. He's only started a handful of Kentucky Derby starters, and now maybe in the twilight of his career with one of his best 3-year-olds with so much upside, Omaha Beach has just earned enough points and looks like he has the talent to be a force come the first Saturday in May.
And how about Flavian Pratt, who's ridden Omaha Beach in every one of his starts, and today got off to ride Gunmetal Gray. It's a tough decision when a race is split. If you have two horses in a split race like Bob Baffert does, you're automatically going to be in different divisions. But everyone else, it's luck of the draw, and a lot of these riders had multiple choices. That is a hard pill to swallow, and for the agent, You've got to make those right decisions. This is no different than a caddy reading a putt wrong for his golfer. This one will stay with his rider for a while.
Owner Rick Porter of Fox Hill Farm, who has named several horses in honor of World War II, the Breeders' Cup champ, the late Battle of Midway, Normandy Invasion, fourth in the Derby a few years back, and now Omaha Beach entering the Oaklawn winner's circle. And what else can you say about Mike Smith, fresh off of a Triple Crown win last year with Justify? Maybe he's found his horse to try and defend that Derby title in Omaha Beach. Let's go to Nancy.
Joel, this was a stretch battle for the ages. Talk me through the stretch. It was extremely close, a couple minutes to decide this one. Game winner did suffer his first loss. Talk me down through those final strides.
Well, he ran a tremendous race. He fought really hard to the front. Just too bad we can go by the horse who was in the lead. We have an easy lead after that, and then he ran hard.
So in those final stretches, did you think that you had won the photo?
Well, it was pretty close in a second. Sometimes it could go either way. And, I know the horse who just right with me inside there, so I thought he probably beat me, but sometimes you never know, All
right. Well, we hope to see you back here in the Arkansas Derby regardless.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you in the studio.
Thank you.
Well, Joel Rosario is going to have to settle for a second-place finish on this afternoon. They'll regroup and look forward to seeing Omaha Beach and game winner hooking up once again. As we send it back to the studio, Greg, text in from Bob Baffert, watching from his grade 1 couch. He says, darn it, couldn't close it. Both ran huge off the layoff.
Something tells me we're going to hear more from both these formerly undefeated horses the first Saturday in May, and that the script could flip for Bob Baffert. But how quickly things can change on the Triple Crown Trail. Omaha Beach, a horse, took him 5 starts to break through, get that maiden win. This is just a maiden winner last time out. Now all of a sudden he leaps toward at least near the top of the class.
Yeah, he showed a lot of talent, obviously, in his career, and he's finally, the last 2 races, he's kind of found the front end, not exactly on the lead, but sitting right there off of it. I thought Mike's decision on the backside to get into that, move him into second kind of a little bit early and put him right in the position he wanted when he took over. He saved ground going into the far turn. Yeah. I thought he was brilliant. Game winner deserves a lot of credit, and his name is perfect because he was so game in this race.
Look at Mike Smith. When it's not broken, don't fix it. He's not moving a thing. You can see Joel Rosario trying to lift game winner by, but watch Omaha Beach, boom. Just answered the question right back.
Valiant in defeat, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, but it's Omaha Beach. Let's go to Nancy.
Who sent out Omaha Beach to victory in the second division of the Grade 2 Rebel. Richard, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. You have quiet confidence, sir. A very impressive victory for the horse who was making his stakes debut, and he was ever so talented coming down the stretch. He beat a very impressive horse who gave him his very first defeat. And in that stretch run, did you think that he had nosed him out, as he looks like he came back on, and that takes a lot of heart to get that done?
Yeah, it was hard to watch because where we were standing is kind of a bad angle, and I thought he got nosed out, but it was nice to get down and find out what happened.
Yeah, great confident ride by jockey Mike Smith, and they went very close to the same time in that first division. He got a good number of points, 37.5 for today's victory. I know that was a very good day for you here in Hot Springs. We'd be more than happy to welcome you back for the Arkansas Derby.
Well, we'll just see how things go. We'll get him home and take a look next week.
Well, congratulations on
Thank you, Hot Springs.
Congratulations on a phenomenal victory in the Grade 2 Rebel.
What a show Oaklawn Park is putting on this afternoon. What a show the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner and the maiden winner, Omaha Beach, put in a stirring stretch duel. The maiden winner for the Hall of Fame trainer, Richard Mandella, with the win. We'll be back with more right after this.
This graded stakes winner and multiple Grade 1 performer by Tapit has become one of the nation's leading sires of 2-year-olds. Ranked number 1 in his crop by number of winners, he sired 11 stakes horses in 2017, including graded stakes winners Wild Shot and Oklahoma Derby winner Untrapped. At the sales, his yearlings have sold up to $480,000. Trap Shot, standing at Claiborne Farm.
It's America's original sport, and no one covers it better than americasbestracing.net. From the sport to the lifestyle, the best races, horses, and destination venues, cocktails, gambling, fashion, and more. americasbestracing.net is a sport for you. Live it, love it, bet it.
I was hoping when we entered this horse in the sale that I would come up here and be in My Name's Happy and have the first run happy that hit it out of the park. We're ecstatic about it.
He's just a natural athlete. He's got length. He's got good substance to him. He's very correct. He's got a very free, effortless walk. Very intelligent, good mind. This is the horse we brought here to make a sound.
Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Welcome back to Oaklawn Park. Thrilling day of thoroughbred racing. Omaha Beach and Company. They're posing for pictures by less than, it was inches. It was inches. Over.
Wow.
The defending 2-year-old champ, game winner, Tom Amoss, by that much.
By that much. That's amazing. You know, I think that we learned today, Lafitte, 2 races that basically ran the same time, the divisions of the Rebel, that the second division really stood out in terms of how far ahead of the field Omaha Beach and Game Winner were and how well they galloped out past the wire. I think they're future horses for more distance.
And just another scenario, the fact that we don't know when racing's going to resume at Santa Anita, assuming there is a Santa Anita Derby in early April. Trainers here have to make a decision. Bob Baffert, does he come back to Oaklawn with improbable Game Winner for the Arkansas Derby? That's in 4 weeks. And same question for Richard Mandela with Omaha Beach.
And they'll be courted. Omaha will be courting those 2 horses and wanting them back.
Incredible performance. It was not a great day for favorites. In each of the 4 stakes races, favorites turned away. The big 2, trained by Bob Baffert, denied. It's the big horse here, Omaha Beach, though, by this much over Game Winner in the second division of the Rebel Stakes. Much more from Oaklawn when we come back.
Real quick on that topic, it was just announced a little bit earlier, Friday, March 22nd, it looks like racing will resume at Santa Anita. But what a performance in split divisions of the Rebel, the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner, Game Winner, first defeat of his career, but he loses nothing really in defeat here. Incredible performance off the bench, but now we have a new horse to talk about. Impressive performance from Omaha Beach.
Absolutely. I typically wait for these mile and 16th races to I wait for the mile and 8th. I don't really make my Derby decision on the mile and the 16th races. I usually use it as an eliminator. I don't want that horse moving forward, that horse moving forward. The 4 horses that ran in the exactas of the 2 Rebels, I want both. I want all 4 of them moving forward. Let's see what happens when they stretch them out a little bit, go a mile and an 8th.
And there's no secret that the horses that you're talking about, Steve Asmussen, Bob Baffert, and then obviously Richard Mandela, 3 of the best that have ever been in this game. And Omaha Beach is improving at the right time. I think Game Winner ran tremendous. They separated themselves. I'm with Tom. They separated themselves today with that run in the second half. But I wouldn't knock on Improbable. He's still lightly raced, and he's still got a lot to improve.
Oh, he ran a big race.
Yes,
Had to go wide outside post and run second in that debut off the bench. Both those Baffert horses, we're going to hear more from, you would think. Naira Betts cross-country pick 5 follow-along, 50-cent payout, 4,800 plus. Mike Smith, it was a productive day in his trip to Oaklawn. He takes the Grade 2 Azeri, named after a filly he used to ride back in her heyday. Midnight Bizu, could this be her year that she takes home an Eclipse Award? Long Range Toddy gets the win in the first division of the Rebel for Steve Asmussen. And Omaha Beach beats the Breeders' Cup Juvenile winner. We are back for the Wood Memorial on April 6th. We will see you then.
The win program, I think, is fantastic for breeders. It's a really, really nice way that WinStar is giving back to the breeder and supported the breeder who's also supported them. If you had the option to breed to another stallion at another farm or go to the horse over at WinStar that has this win program attached to it, the deciding factor is easy. You're going to get more bang for your buck over there at WinStar.
Run Happy is simply super. He polishes off an outstanding campaign with a dominant victory in the Malibu.
No medication, no problem. Run Happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com. Sign up now for a $200 new member bonus with promo code LIVE at NairaBets.com.